Right, I'm live on there. What about in here? Ah, there I am. Oh, bit of lag. Oh. Hello, sweetheart. Right, if I mute that one, then I'm not coming out of the speakers, am I? The fuck is going on there? Right, let's try that other camera again now. Right, that one's working for the moment until it freezes. Right, let's just click on some. Okay, that's how you bring the comments up. Good afternoon, Stuart. Whether you can give me a thumbs up or not, tell me if you can hear me. So I'm not quite sure what's going on here at the minute.
You're all good, love.
We got yes, you can. Brilliant. Who else we got in here? 7 watching. Right. Bear with me, I'm just playing with things. Christ, I'm off already. Basically remembering how to use this fucking thing. I will put the link up for the panel in a bit. Just let a few more drop in, as it were. We got 8 watching now, but only 1 making themselves known in the chat. Come on, guys, let me know who's there, or you the ones that are just here to record the stream. Feel free. I don't hide it. It will be posted afterwards anyway. If there's anything you want to go back and Photoshop or photo clip or whatever it's called. Yeah, at some point, Stuart, I will have to mute myself and turn the volume down. I was expecting a phone call from my consultant at 12:30, and it hasn't happened yet. So right, let's get this organized. Copy, paste, woman. Oh, now I've got to wait for it to go beyond the fucking heart thing at the bottom so I can actually pin it. Oh, you fucking thing. Pin message. There we go. There's only 8 of you in at the moment, but if there's anybody there that wants to pop up, pop up. Stitch, good afternoon, sweetheart. Before bots. You're a new one. How are you? How's Saul doing, Stitch? Is he okay? They are looking into some. I don't know whether they've actually signed it, Stuart. It's this thing about where they take over in the event of another pandemic. He seems to be doing it all over the place. I mean, he's looking in now at this one European bloody army thing, basically selling our forces down the road and us at the same time. He's trying to get us back into the EU. He's doing deals with China. Well, there's only one good thing comes out of China, and that's surveillance equipment and the credit scoring system. So that's a big possibility. Apparently his father-in-law, I think it is, has some connections out there, so I'm led to believe. Don't take that as Jen, but he's out doing some shopping. Make him work, dear. Make him work. Yeah, but it's there seems to be a complete U-turn. And good afternoon, Andy.
And Boily Boyle.
Oh, and Steve. Good afternoon, Boily Boyle. Yeah, there seems to be a lot of collusion, shall I say, going on out there between different governments and what have you. And I don't believe any of it is going to become any good for us, especially with what they've said about the cost of living and the economy and everything in the last couple of days. I mean, Hunter said he's going to put us into a recession. As far as I'm concerned, we've been in one for a bloody long time. And no matter what price caps they bring in, it ain't going to make any change to anything. Bear Britain Audits, good afternoon, buddy. Hope you're well. Yeah, I don't believe there's going to be much of a change. We certainly won't see any change in the electricity, not that it'd be noticeable. Food prices are still going to go up because they're blaming it on the supply chain now. Plus with the alleged price fixing by the big supermarkets. But yeah, all good here, Bear Britain. As I said earlier on, I may interrupt the stream. I won't take it down, but I will mute it and turn the sound off because I've been waiting since 12:30 for a phone call from one of my consultants about to see where we go with me blood disorder next. Thought there might have been a few more about this afternoon, but
hey ho. Gardening, enjoying the weather.
Gardening, yeah, all on gardening leave. Yeah, that is one of the things, as Mrs. W says. It means they will be able to force vaccines on people, but if they just mandate it, then you can reject it. It's only if they make it law. Hi, Box. Good afternoon, mate. Mandate as definitioned in the Black's Law Dictionary, I think it was edition 10. A mandate is... Oh, the fucking camera's gone again. Sorry, guys. I keep getting messed around by this bloody camera here. It won't play the game. But yeah, a mandate can only be considered a contract if both parties agree. And that is in law. So if they say they're going to mandate something, you absolutely have the right to refuse it. Yeah, same here, Bear Britain. As I've said many times before I found out about my blood conditions and had the strokes, if I'd have taken it before that, which it was supposed to have been, where would I be now, basically? You know, even my own doctor said it's just as well I didn't take it. And that tells you it all, doesn't it? Yeah, exactly, Bear Britain. I mean, I've got quite a few medical issues. Obviously, recovering from the stroke, so I don't think that's ever going to go away. But now with this blood disorder, and they can't, they know what it is, but they don't know what's causing it. And because they don't know what's causing it, then obviously they don't know how to cure it or if they can. I am undergoing treatment. It's a bit sporadic at the moment of what they call a venous section, which is basically they take a pint of blood out you. I was having it weekly. Now it's down to about monthly. Yes, Britain. There are a lot of symptoms that it's caused. I mean, there's too many to go into here. Obviously, the ultimate one that we know about, but there are a lot of other conditions, shall I say, that it does seem to have been causing. Some medical sources are debunking this. Some are saying yes, it's absolutely right. But good afternoon, Phil. Welcome, mate. But it's what evidence is produced, isn't it? Different top level politicians, even big pharma, some of them have come out and admitted that they got things wrong. I personally believe, in my opinion, and that's all it is, YouTube, my opinion, they knew it was going to happen all along. Because it happened back in 1976 with the pandemics, and they didn't learn from that. The only thing they learned to do was reduce the amount of payment you can get for being damaged by it under the Damaged by Vaccines Act 1976. They actually limited to what you can claim. And there was, it was well over a year ago now, I did do a couple of videos on that back in 1976, one highlighting one particular story about a nurse, and the other literally about it, the history of it. What were they called? I think they were called Lesson from History and Lesson from History 2. Mumua, good afternoon. Welcome. I did notice you in the chat, new to the channel the other day. You're very welcome, sir. Hope you enjoy what I do. The live streams are a little bit different to my videos. For one, I keep switching between cameras because one keeps pissing me about. But I will send a message out there now. I'll say it again later because he may pop in to Police Abusing Powers Dan. As some of you probably know, he ended up back in hospital the other day. He still doesn't know, and even the doctors don't know if it was another stroke or not. He's having more investigations and scans, but they have told him he can come home today. So hopefully he'll be out later, but he's got to go back for more investigations and scans. But at the moment, he's absolutely fine. We spoke earlier today in a private chat, and he's absolutely fine. He just wants to get home. But he's assured me that he won't do anything against doctor's orders, shall I say, because I know he's a bit like me on that score. I'm always giving him advice, but I never take it myself. Yes, it was, Stuart. If you remember, he started getting pins and needles and what have you, whether that had spread as well, and also with a bit of numbness. They haven't been able to pin it down. It it could be several things. But until they complete their investigations, then, you know, we ain't going to know what it is, to be honest. Yeah, it's a bit like mine. And until they find out, you're clueless, you know. Yeah, he's fine, Stuart. He's still in good spirits. He just hates being in there. Yeah, that's right, Andy. I mean, anything like that with Pat, because there's a few of us that keep in touch personally. I don't put anything out as an update unless I okay it with him first. Obviously, if there's personal details, that doesn't get put out. But it's just letting people know, being as he's just started doing videos again. And, yeah, he may have just run himself down a bit, but you don't know. And when you're in our position, after having strokes and episodes like that, then you literally have to, you got to get everything checked out because you don't know what it could be. I mean, proof in case was when I had the blood clot in my head back in, when was that, 2014?
I don't know.
But 2014, I think it was. I had a blood clot in the brain. And literally, I went for about 3 months just suffering headaches before they realised what it was. And then I ended up in hospital for, I don't know, 6 to 8 weeks, something like that. Yeah, exactly, high box. And there's a lot of people getting the same, mate. You know, it's not just the fact of people, youngsters, fit youngsters, dropping dead. That's what I said. There's a lot of other things that have been allegedly connected to it. Certain sources have say they've absolutely proved it, but yeah, we're the sort of people, we never get told the truth. Basically, we never will.
I can't see the StreamYard thing pinned, darling.
You can't? Is it not pinned at the top?
No.
Can somebody in the chat tell me if the StreamYard link is pinned at the top of the chat? No, they won't admit it, Stuart. It is now. Huh. How strange.
It's not showing it online.
It should be, Steve. Yeah, it should be pinned at the top of the chat. Hang on, I'll unpin it and do it again and see what happens. This could be fucking YouTube pissing about again. Right.
I'll put it back in the chat for me.
Hang on.
That's better, thank you.
There we go. Holly, hello. Yeah, that's it in the chat, and it should be pinned at the top of the chat as well.
Yeah, it is now.
Thank you. Yeah, it could be, like I say, the faceless cowards pissing about. I don't know why they bother with me now, because I've played the game. I've played by the rules for a long, long time since the last ban. But they don't remove comments in the chat. They physically hide them somewhere around the channel. I'll have to go into like the dashboard and go to several places to try and find them. I get alerts for probably 50% of them now. Now and again, I'll get an email alert that there's a comment. You know, I mean, you've only got to look at the amount of subs. I'm not a big threat to anybody or anything. Yes, I'm against the narrative, but so are many people on here. But they just feel that they have to interfere and harass. Tiff what probably won't be in this afternoon. She's actually got a hospital appointment. Right, well, I think we got enough in here to pass on this message now. Now, as you know, we had some hassle with some other channels some time back. And I just want to show how stupid one of them can be. Oh, hang on. He's been going on to other streams, slagging me off, although I've been nowhere near them for months. But the thing that does make me laugh, the illiterate little ginger-haired twat can't even read my fucking name right. So if anybody knows of a Roger Whitington that comes on YouTube, if you could let me know, I'd like to pass the message on from him. You know, this is a guy that talks to someone called Glyn on a nightly basis, but can't understand his word. His name isn't Glenn, you know. But there you go. If anybody wants to record that bit so you can play it back tonight or whenever, feel free. It'll be posted later.
Probably one of those that aren't commenting. Oh no, we can't, can
I? Heather just said you'll probably get an answer to that in the comments. So I said, well, no, I won't, because he's banned. Yeah, she said if she's back early enough, she'll drop in, Holly.
Not likely with 3 buses there and back again.
Right, so let's have a look what subjects we've got on the list today. Nobody seems to want to drop up on the panel. So what? I mean, the immigration figures were dropped, weren't they? 606,000. But if you listen to the statement, they actually said that's the net figure. So how many deductions or additions can you make to that? You've got the ones that run off from the beaches that were never tracked, traced, found, whatever.
Weren't counted.
Yeah, they weren't counted. You've got the ones that come in off the lorry, on the lorries coming through the tunnel and ferries.
Weren't counted.
You've got the ones that have absconded from the, I won't call them holding centres, but let's call them hotels for now. They've disappeared into the wilds. So I think you could probably add half that again, more or less. Yeah, they do, Holly. It's called malinformation. If you could say they're giving out misinformation, it's wrong. It's actually malinformation. They're telling the truth, but they're twisting the truth to fit the narrative, basically. Same as the government do. But they've got an even bigger problem now. If they go around arresting all these ones that are bothering kids and women and walking around with machetes, they're absolutely screwed, because the head of one of the prison boards has actually come out and said our prisons will be full in 6 weeks' time. They predicted September, but with the amount that are going in there now, they're saying no, 6 weeks' time. Our prison system will be full. They do have contingency plans to expand where they can double up in certain cells and stuff like that. But he said they will not implement it because then it makes it unsafe. So our prisons, they're saying, will be full within 6 weeks. Is this the reason they're letting a lot of people off with suspended sentences? Afternoon, Jack. Yeah, he had a bit of a funny turn. He's been feeling some numbness and some pins and needles. He went into hospital the other day to get checked out. He's still there at the moment, but he will be coming home at some point today. But he's fine, mate. I've spoke to him today, so. Yeah, I have got some in my brain, Holly. They have told me this before, but they've also told me it's too deep to operate. So whether it's a clot or what, I don't know. But they haven't told me exactly what it is. Brawlbox, good afternoon, mate. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. I mean, I know on a weekday that people have school runs to do, and plus with it's bank holiday, so a lot of people might be getting ready to go away. And because I was going to do the live tomorrow, but I thought, well, yeah, it's a bank holiday. If people are getting ready to go partying. Oh, look, I'm not looking in the back room. Afternoon, buddy.
About time. Christ.
I was concentrating on the chat, mate.
Oh dear.
You still at the hospital, are you?
Yeah, still here for a moment. Yeah. Just waiting for.
So it can't be too far from going home.
Yes, that was a bit of a fashion faux pas. Those pajamas, but hang on, let me turn my phone that way because I don't like it the other way. I haven't got both earphones in, so I can't hear too well because I've got outside sound coming in this year. And I can't see the chat either. So.
Oh yeah, they will.
You can see the back of Roger's head though.
It's all right. The daughter's just turned up. They got to go and pick her car up from the garage, and there's somebody parked halfway across the drive, apparently.
Oh dear. So yeah, I'm just waiting for me. Can you hear me all right, by the way?
Yes, mate. Yeah, loud and clear.
Yeah. I'm waiting for them to sort out the meds. As Heather said earlier, with regards to the fact they're taking me off the clopidogrel, whilst they put me on the aspirin, the doctor had mentioned it earlier. Because they haven't done an MRI yet, they're unsure as to whether or not I've had another stroke or whether this is a byproduct of the previous 3 or 4. Oh, does that actually? If I've had another stroke, does that mean I've had one more than you now, Roger?
Yeah. No, how many have you had? 3, isn't it?
No, I had 3, and then they found evidence of a previous 4th one.
Yeah, you'll be up with me then, because that'll be 5.
Shit! I'll have to try harder.
Well, that's assuming that last one I had on the live was
right.
Up until then, I'd only had the 4. One sort of big one and then 3 smaller ones. That one, I'm still not sure. It might have just been a blood pressure bomb when the blood pressure dropped, caused me to go down because I didn't get any tingling or numbness in the hand.
Right.
It was just like I knew I was going to pass out for some reason.
Yeah. Well, when I spoke to the doctor earlier, he said to me, I said to him, look, the reason why I didn't think it was another stroke is because it was only affecting my face and my arm. I said, I thought, if you have a stroke on one side or the other of the brain and the whole of the other side of the body gets affected. And he was like, no, it's not. He goes, this is why you check for the face and the arm.
Yeah.
Rather than just one or the other, because it can affect the face, the arm or the leg, or the face and the arm, or the arm and the face, or all 3. depending on the
I
severity of it.
started in the right hand. I was literally sat at the table as I am now, and I felt it starting, and I couldn't lift my hand.
Right.
And then I went to say something, and all I could do was mumble and dribble. By the time I got out to the kitchen to get some help from Heather, I couldn't speak. My right leg had gone numb. I couldn't move it. My left arm had gone numb. My right arm had gone numb. And then I just went down like a sack of shit.
Yeah.
Like.
Well, I'm just jumping on briefly anyway because I'm waiting for the meds, and then they're going to take me. Then they're going to take me to another department where they can get me well, they're going to take me to a department where they will get me a taxi and get me my meds quicker than the ward.
Yeah, they don't want you hanging around in public. They know you're a menace.
Yeah, something like that. So yes, for those of you watching, all it was, I say all it was. We don't know what it was. It still might not be a stroke, but we don't know yet. I've had a CT scan which showed that there was no bleed on the brain causing it, which I didn't have a bleed last time. But the MRI scan.
Which one is it you've got to go back for? The MRI, is it?
MRI scan, yeah. I'll come back on Sunday for the MRI.
I said they'd probably get it in quick. Yeah.
So I'll come back on Sunday. They said they'll have a look at that, and then somebody will get back to me. But because the symptoms aren't getting any worse, if it was a stroke, it's over. It's happened and it's over. So, but again, it could still just as easily be. They thought it may have been trapped nerves. But they've done an ultrasound on my.
I forgot I could do that and highlight comments.
No worries. They've done an ultrasound on my neck to check the nerves, see if there was any compression of the nerves there, because it was only affecting my face and my arm. If it was only affecting my legs, then they probably would have done an ultrasound on my lower back, because normally they check from the point of the funny feeling, so to speak. At this point, it's my face and arms, so they checked my neck. Couldn't find anything there.
Your face has always given us grief, isn't it? So
yeah, it gives me grief. So they checked that. There was nothing there. My blood pressure was really high. As I said to you, Roger, I sent that chart in the chat, and my blood pressure was 108. I think it was 180 over 100.
185 over 105, which is high.
Yeah. So, and it was like that. It was like that through till Tuesday, Wednesday morning, and then my blood pressure's dropped since then. It's normal now.
But again, one I've seen or had was that one I did live that night on your stream. I think it was. It went up to 205 over 110 or something.
Yeah.
But I've had it go down to less than 115 over 60.
Right.
That's what they call a pressure bomb, blood pressure.
Yeah. Well, as I say, I should be out of here in the next couple of hours or so. Thankfully, I didn't want to be in here anyway, and they lied to me. I can't believe they lied to me to get me to stay here. We'll do an MRI.
It's in the chat. I left it. I scrolled back to find Jack's comment.
So we'll do an MRI scan first thing in the morning. This was on Tuesday night. We'll do an MRI scan first thing in the morning, and now it's Friday, and I've still not had it. And they've only said it so they could keep me in.
Oh God!
Which is
I can't see you creeping up on me on this camera.
Hello.
Hello. Goodbye. I'm on a mission. I'm going to go and pick up daughter's car and take it down to a.
No worries.
Yeah, I might catch you later.
No worries. I'll see you later. Bye, Heather.
Are you leaving any of the cars on the drive?
No, she's down by the shop.
Okay.
She can't get on because the way the head is parked.
It's lucky I ain't still got my old banger, then I'd have pushed the bastard out of the way. So we lived right opposite a school, and this time between sort of 2:45 and 4:00, I call it mad bitch season. There's a fucking mothers and their parking out there are atrocious.
Well, as I say, it's just a case of getting out of here now. I'm gonna go home. I've got shit I need to do, and I'll get back to doing the videos.
Don't go diving straight back into doing fucking videos, mate. Give your chance a bit of time to recover from it all.
I've been off for ages. I can't keep taking time off, you know.
It don't matter, mate. Your health's got to come first. Your health has got to come first. You're no good to us if you're ill.
We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Something big might happen, and I might need to cover it. So we'll see. We'll see. I've got tidying up to do, but I left the place in a shithole on Tuesday night. And
Police Scotland's admissions, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's only a matter of time before they all admit it. They're just saying, you know, they've all denied it for fucking years. You know that they're scum. They go on about, oh yes, there's homophobia, racism, and misogyny. No, you're all just fucking arseholes. Don't put labels on it. You are an arsehole. The end. You know.
Purpose.
You know, saying we're racist, misogynist, and homophobic means that they're more interested about everybody else apart from people like you and me, Roger.
Yeah. Yep.
So that's why I don't like using those words. Discrimination is the word that should be used. Racism, homophobia, transphobia, all of that, misogyny, all of that kind of stuff. All that does is it just compartmentalizes sections of society more and more. Fuck them. I don't care. You know,
it comes under one title, as you say, discrimination.
Yeah.
Of some form or other.
And when you start giving all these other people names that they can argue under, and we don't have a name to argue under, then it makes us a fucking minority then, and it means that we're being discriminated against. So go fuck yourselves, please.
You can't see the chat, can you?
No,
you can if I do that. We won. Good afternoon.
Boily boil. Oh, listen.
I did put in a little message earlier on to the illiterate.
I heard it.
Afternoon, Merv.
But yeah, listen, I'm going to jump off now anyway. I just wanted to jump on very quickly because I saw you on while I was up in the wards. I've just come down to,
especially with the circumstances. Hi, Chalky.
Yeah. Well, fingers crossed. It's nothing. It's nothing too serious. Again, for those of you that have joined since I came on and said it a minute ago, we still don't know what it was. It could have been another stroke. It could be my brain, an uncooperative brain is what the doctor called it. I think trying to make. Yeah, I think most people were. It could be my brain trying to make new neural pathways and it's fucked one up. It could be, you know, I mean, you've even got things like Bell's palsy and other things that it could be.
Yeah.
And we don't know.
The worst scenario in mind is Guillain-Barré syndrome.
Well, the worst scenario might be fucking long COVID. Then I'd have to admit it.
Then they're poking and prodding you all the time, aren't they?
So, yeah, I'm yeah, as I say, it could be a number of things. But they put me on the stroke ward for, you know, because of my history and because of the much bigger potential of it being a stroke. But we're not going to know until we have the MRI scan. They'll compare that to my last one and see if there's any further damage to my brain. Fucking sounds good, doesn't it? Brain damage. So at least when people call me a fucking brain damaged piece of shit or something, I can agree with them now.
Yeah, we've got medical evidence. So
yeah, that's it. So yeah, so it's just a case still waiting and see, waiting to see. But I'm gonna ship off anyway, and I'll leave you to it.
All right, mate. Well, you look after yourself, and please don't overtax yourself.
Well, I've still got to do that live react to South Wales Police's bullshit statement about those two lads. But I might do that over the weekend instead. We'll see how we get on. See how we get on. Sorry, that door's not opening. You have to go in this one.
Don't push yourself on the live Sunday either.
No, I won't. I'll just have half a bottle of brandy on Sunday. It'll do me good. It'll do me good. No, because it thins the blood out, doesn't it? So if I'm getting another blood clot thing, then the brandy would help. It will water my blood down and stop it from clotting.
Brushes on the long wire, like, you know.
What's put between your ears?
If I can get a small enough one where I can nick a hole and get it in there. I tried to make a hole the other day, look.
Fucking hell.
And that was spraying the patio, believe it or not.
Yeah. All right, guys, I'll leave you to it anyway, and I'll catch up with you all. Catch up with you all soon. If you don't see me before Sunday, then I'll see you on Sunday night.
Yeah, I'll probably catch up with you on Discord later anyway.
Oh yeah, you and I will chat before then. But you know, for anybody that's not part of the cult in the circle, then we'll catch up. If not tonight or tomorrow, then I'll definitely see you on Sunday, provided I don't have another episode.
All right, mate.
So,
well, you be safe, take care, and please follow their orders just for once.
Well, I'm about as scared as Lost Souls Paranormal as I'm scared of COVID. So, but we'll just leave that there. Right, I'll catch you all later, guys.
All right, Dan, take care, mate.
Right, respect. See you later. Bye, mate. Bye.
Bishop, good afternoon. Who else we got joining in here? So I have trouble looking at the camera, and because I'll keep trying to make sure this one doesn't freeze all the time. Yeah, when Ollie's on a mission, she is on one, believe me. She don't take no shit. But yeah, I wasn't going to discuss that thing with the two lads that were killed on the bike, on the bikes the other day. It's been done to death. Excuse the pun, that wasn't intended. And there's a lot more to come out about it, and we don't know the full story, or we're only seeing bits of evidence at the moment. So I'm not going to say anything on that. But yeah, as we see this again. Was it last night or yesterday or whatever? The 11-year-old that got knocked over by a police car that wasn't responding to anything. He's very, very ill in hospital. I haven't heard any updates on how he's doing, but there seems to be a lot of this going on. And I mean, oh, Tiff, you're back. Hello. Oh God, I've lost myself now. Yeah, I mean the new highway code with the pedestrians get the right of way. Could this be part of this? A lot of these seem to be, if a pedestrian's walked out in front of a car, because there has been a substantial rise in pedestrians getting hit by cars. I don't know the actual figure off the top of my head now, but it was quite a rise in the percentage after they brought that law in. Yeah, Tiff's got to go to urgent care. Tiff, what? Whoa, hey, where? What? What's? You were already on your way there, weren't you, Tiff? Or at least I hope you were. Yeah, exactly, wee one. Oh, it was on an emergency shout. I thought they said earlier it wasn't. Are you on your way there now, Tiff? Because I think you said your appointment was at 2:30 or something, wasn't it? Sorry for the waiting time, but there is a delay between StreamYard and... Is the chat frozen up? What is going on here? No. Yes, we will. We could all have a channel meeting in a hospital somewhere. Just be around to get ourselves admitted on that day. That solves the accommodation problem for the birthday party as well. But it'd have to bring your own bottle, wouldn't it? Because they don't allow bars in hospitals anymore like they used to. Walking place and see people during the day. It is. Yeah, that's what I mean. I thought you were already in the hospital, Tiff. Yeah, get to A&E straight away. Do not pass go. Do not pass. Collect 200 quid. Oh, hello. See, I saw movement out the corner of my fucking eye there.
I don't know. How do I make the speakers? Hold on. No, I don't want that. Talk?
Yeah.
No, that's not done it.
Yeah, that's another thing I've got, Stuart. I've actually got arthritis in my neck and my shoulders and the top of my spine.
There we go. That's much better.
We got Murph as well. Good afternoon, Murph.
2 fingers.
Putting that in it as soon as I joined. Murph joined.
How's everyone?
Yeah, not
all
bad,
right,
mate. Not bad.
Hang on, I've got to turn the AC on. It's a bit hot in here. Okay.
And if anybody wonders what the 4 light reference to, that's a Star Trek episode of the Next Generation.
With that young 11-year-old, I saw a picture and it looked as though he was crossing the road with an island in the middle, because you can see that the island has been just taken out completely.
Yeah. I saw the beacon on the floor. That's the only picture.
Yes. He was crossing at the right point. I just don't know how the bloody police car, whether he stepped out in front of the police car, I don't know.
Well, that's the thing, because the pedestrian has got right of way, and the amount of people that do put a foot across the pedestrian crossing, or if the car's far enough back to make them stop, you know.
You don't know. With young kids today, they're looking at their phone. They might be talking to a mate, doing anything. You know, it's not for me to judge.
You know, well, the worst ones I see are these people walking across a road like this.
Yeah. And you get it. You get the vloggers in Pattaya. They keep getting run over because they're talking to the camera and they don't look left or right because they want to keep talking to the camera and walk right out in front of a car.
Yeah. And then you'll get the obstinate bastards that will say, well, we've got the right of way now, so we're having it, and they'll step out anyway.
Yeah. I know what you mean. Well, I've had a couple of brain farts this week.
Has Jack fallen over?
No. I'm just moving I'm moving the cat out of the way. Trying to open the doors.
Sorry, what was
just
that?
doing the drying as well.
I had a couple of brain farts this week. Yeah, I'm not known for my intelligence or anything, but I suddenly came up with something, and wasn't there a law, Sarah's Law, brought in
Yes.
about where you are entitled to know where a paedophile lives and where they go and where
Yeah.
they are and what they do. Yeah.
If they live in a certain area, within certain distance of your area, if
Yeah.
you've been a victim of that sort of thing.
And I remember I remember the woman fighting for that and actually getting it. It was after her kid got killed, you know. And I remember she fought for years. Well, I wonder how she feels now, with all of these immigrants coming into hotels locally and everything, with no trace of them. They've got no ID on them. They've got nothing that's going on, so you can't tell what they've been up to in the past.
Yeah.
You've got whole areas where kids are turning around and getting heckled and challenged as they're walking around the roads. And it's sort of just made it's sort of pissed all over Sarah's law, isn't it?
Yeah, and they'll follow the kids around. I mean, I've had phone calls from Newquay down in Cornwall when before they moved them out to Beresford down there. I've got some very, very good close friends down there, including some mothers. The mother part was nothing to do with me, by the way. But they were getting, the children were being followed, the girls were being followed, even the women themselves were being followed.
Well, you bear in mind,
and the police would just say, well, until they do something, we can't do anything.
But I mean, the point being is that, you know, the ministers need to be asked questions now. What are you doing about Sarah's law? Bearing in mind that you're putting all of these people into hotels that have thrown their ID away and thrown their phone away.
Well, they're putting a lot of them in camps now, but to me, that's even worse, because if there's nothing better than a radicalised, I say that loosely because I don't know. If you get more together from a radicalised group, it accelerates everything.
Look, the last time they put them in a camp, they set the camp alight.
Exactly, down in Napier.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a case that, do you think they're not going to do the same again?
Exactly. And it's got the public's back right up now. Even the sheep, as I call them, are starting to see.
Yeah.
You know, we've always gone on about them destroying our history. What they've done at Scampton now.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's terrible. You know what I mean?
That confuses me with the police, right? They're on about needing like actual sort of evidence to kind of arrest someone. But if they could arrest someone just based off of suspicion, although they shouldn't, right?
What,
then,
like at the coronation? You mean at the coronation?
Well, anything, anything.
I was going to say that because I was going to put that up with something else in a minute.
Yeah, it's like the whole terrorism thing, right? If you're recording, even if it doesn't matter what you're recording, and then the police officer comes up to you and say, "Oh, Section 43 doesn't matter. This and blah blah blah." You're suspected of terrorism now, even though you've got nothing on you that can. I don't know.
Now, under their own guidance, Jack, if they're trying to arrest you under a Section 43, they must either have intelligence or evidence that they are going to arrest a suspected terrorist. And the first thing they have to do before they're even booked in is let the terrorist squad know what they want to do with them.
Yeah.
There was actually a case where they arrested, I think it was an auditor under Section 43. The arrest sergeant, the desk sergeant, actually rang the anti-terrorist squad, and they were told by them, "Let him go. You're absolutely stupid."
Well, I mean, you know, just like with those 15 lads that have been arrested down in Cardiff.
Yeah,
they're going to be able to walk from court, and do you know why? Because of the Riot Act. The police are meant to read the Riot Act to them first. And because they failed to do it, those boys are going to walk from court.
But it's like this one you said just now about the arrest at the coronation.
Yeah.
Now, they were able to do that under that new public order bill.
That was brought in 24 hours before the coronation.
Yeah. They said they can preempt a crime and arrest somebody basically to prevent it, which was what they were using as an excuse then.
Yeah.
But then the other day, Stop Oil are equipped for protest. They are actually physically holding people up during their day.
But yeah, they're not arrested.
The guy that tried to move them out of the way.
That's right.
Them up the road.
Yeah, that's right. They're manhandling him. I saw that. The manhandled him because
the same law then. That's what it was designed for.
Well, the thing is, you notice they're protecting just stop oil protesters, but they're
Yeah.
not. But yet they're arresting people that are quite infuriated because they
Yeah.
can't get to work and they can't go about their daily business because you got
Exactly.
people blocking the road, which is obstructing the highway, which is, I think, it's a criminal offence, is it?
It is now because they bought it. There always was one form of criminal offence around blocking the highway.
Yeah,
But they brought more stringent ones in around protests
yeah.
that they're not allowed to block free flow of traffic.
Yeah, and this is why they're not gluing themselves to the
Going
floor
about
anymore.
And do you know why they're not being arrested? Because they've got orders in quotations.
Exactly.
Well, you see, the thing is, it's like there's a new one every week. We had Insulate Britain last year, who were turning around and being dicks all over the place. I mean, you know,
It was Extinction. It was Extinction Rebellion in 2018, I think.
2018, yeah, and then we had the BLM. It's like they want all of this to happen.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. They do.
It's like one, oh, right, okay, you've had your go, right, someone else, next step in, yeah, you can start causing aggravation. Yeah, next one in, yeah, you can start causing aggravation. You know what I mean? It's just, it's like they need to divert the attention away from everything else.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There's a lot more pressing things going on, and all the the stop oil protesters seem to be caring about is fossil fuels is way over here. But the thing is, without fossil fuels, and I'm not that person anyway, but without the fossil fuels, or most of the things, even most of the industries that need fossil fuels to even run, won't be there. So the whole vegan aspect of it, which kind of is integrated, because it's like vegans are saying, oh, you know, it's like they're linked with just stop oil protesters in a way, because most of them are vegans. Not all of them, but most of them.
Well, you think the countries that used to push the green agenda and this, that, and the other, I mean, Germany, off the top of my head, is now knocking down their nuclear power stations and building coal and gas ones again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
France has opened up more nuclear. They're pushing for smaller nuclear, divisional nuclear power stations in the UK.
Yeah. Which means spread it around further if there is an accident or a problem.
Well, look, to me, I'm ex-military, so to me that's perfect. I don't want one big one, I want loads of little ones all over the place, and I'll hit those, and bang, I've got little mini nuclear bombs going off all over the bloody place. You know
the
what I mean?
thing is the government. I mean, we've already said this so many times now. It's like repetition at this point. It's like a broken record. The government don't care. If they did, they would actually do things to prevent all these issues from happening, which they don't care. Like I said, the police don't. The police don't care. The police will just do whatever they want, and they won't give a toss about other people's feelings. But yet they'll certainly suppress people's feelings on Twitter and all these. You know, they'll go to your door with like 7 coppers, but then you call 999 because you've just been burgled into, and you won't get anyone, or you'll. So.
Well, I mean, look, they're building dossiers on everyone anyway. You know, so they'll if you ever say anything wrong, and
that's a German thing, isn't it? Yeah, that's a German thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the far right again. They're using far right tactics on us. Yeah. And we've been England.
The two main parties here now.
It's
Labour and Tories. They're all
both corrupt.
It's a 21st century Nazi Germany, if you want to call it that.
Yeah, that's all.
I was thinking about that the other day. You know, I was thinking about back in the 60s, the 50s, the 60s, you had the mods and the rockers.
Yeah,
and then you had the punks in the 70s. You know, and you had the punks come out in the 70s. But what we didn't have then was social media.
Yeah, that's right.
So you would read about Johnny Rotten in the Sun every day, or the Mirror every day, or you'd read it on the News of the World at the weekend, what they got up to and everything else. But you wouldn't. Now news is instantaneous. You know, you look at the base Welshman the other day; he was right on the scene. You know, he saw it all happening. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
you know, and that's the difference now. I mean, so where, and I'm just thinking about all of this far left and all of this institution that's attacking attacking the family nucleus. You know, I want my kid to be trans. You know what I mean?
More people need to rise up together, right, and work together as a team against all these different institutions, i.e., the government, the police, and
They
whatnot.
won't, Jack. That's
It's,
the
I know,
problem.
but that's what I'm saying.
They won't.
Instead of, because the thing is, at the moment, the police and the government are making us all fight against each other and not focus our anger and frustration on them. Like I said, focus like be angry and fight with each other
You
instead
think
of being
the
instead of interlinking
perfect
together.
mix to me would be all these fractions stood shoulder to shoulder, okay,
Yeah.
fighting for their own little thing, but all of them stood in London, shoulder to shoulder together, to show them that we won't be split up. Look, you've got the alphabet people over there. You've got the other group over there. You've got that group over there, but they're all stood here together in front of you.
Here's an interesting question.
And it won't happen, mate.
If most of this country, like 75+% of this country, fought against the government and the police and did what you just said and stood in a big long line across a busy main road or a road, maybe it doesn't have to be anywhere, it could be outside of New Scotland Yard or Parliament or Buckingham Palace or wherever, right? Do you think there'd be enough police to deal with it?
No, not a chance.
No.
There wasn't enough police in London to control the crowds that were there back during the lockdown. It's only because the crowd backed down to them and didn't stand up. If that crowd had turned around and pushed back, yes, there might have been a few casualties, but they'd have overwhelmed the police just like that.
Yeah.
Just on sheer mass and weight.
Well,
it's because people won't fight back in this country.
Well, the thing is, I remembered someone asking me a question the other day. I think it was on, might have been on Dan's live stream. I can't remember. The question was if someone burgled into if someone was actually trying to burgle into my house, would I call the police? To get there, and to be honest, as I said at the time, I said I don't know, but to be honest, the easy way of saying it would be to deal with it on your own. You've got quite a lot of tools in the house.
Be careful what you say. Be careful what you say.
Okay, I'll be careful what I say.
I'll tell you what the law says. The law says that you are entitled to defend yourself if you feel that you are in danger.
Yeah, but the thing is, the police twist that, and they can use that against you, which is what gets to people, I guess.
The law actually states what's called reasonable force, and in law, that is one level of force above the force that's levelled against you.
Yeah, and also that's open to interpretation.
Yeah.
Now,
if you feel you're in threat of your life, you are legally entitled to use lethal force to defend yourself.
Yeah.
But under that same law, you will have to justify using it in court.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, I mean, my dad said this himself. If someone, we've had people come in not on our house, but we've had people go in our back garden before. But on 2 different occasions. This is before we had CCTV cameras. In fact, no. I think the second time we had people in the back garden, we had CCTV cameras. The first time we didn't. I don't even know how many years ago it was, but all I know was that we had 3 dogs at the time instead of just 1 now. Probably 2014, 2015, something like that. So it's a long time. 2 people came over the back fence in a back garden. Dad heard a noise, so all 3 dogs were downstairs. Oh no! One of them was upstairs. The other 2, they were both staffers. They ran out. My dad opened the door. They ran out, and one of them bit them on the arse as they were trying to get back over the fence.
Yep.
Now, see that's fine. But the thing is they're actively trying to break into our house, and we're doing what is justified based on what they're trying to do. And also, they had weapons as well. So.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's fair enough. And I'm sure everyone's got a story like that at some point in time.
Well, the second time they nabbed me dad's bike, but Dad made a silly mistake and left it in the back garden. But that was when we didn't have a conservatory, so we couldn't put it anywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry, when we didn't have a conservatory, sorry, because otherwise we would have put it in there. But
I'm all right. I got an attack cat. If you could wake her up, that is. It was quite amusing yesterday. We managed to clip all her claws without any blood letting. Like it was.
Well, that's a lucky escape, I'd say.
But yeah, no. Thing is if the police cared, right? Why are they so entwined to act upon?
It's a different generation of coppers, mate. They've got egos way above what they should be doing.
You know, I don't get it, right? Whenever police drive past you when you're walking down the street, right, they always give you dirty looks, even though you've not done anything wrong, you've not said anything to them, you've not done anything. They give you dirty looks, and you think
that's because they're now in a situation where they're frightened.
Yeah, I give them a look back. I even pulled one up during the lockdown and said, "Where's your fucking masks?" He said,
I look at them all the time.
Wear them with our work colleagues. I said, the members of the public aren't your fucking work colleagues.
Well, the thing is, they're enforcing a piece of legislation that wasn't even like the things they were enforcing weren't actually. They were using it in the wrong context anyway, which is what was getting people unnecessary. Not even convictions. They were trying to take people to court over it, but most of them failed
were just
anyway.
Trying to assert their powers.
Yeah.
Their egos. That's all it was, mate. Oh, we're told we can do this, so we're going to bloody do it, you know.
Yeah, well.
Without checking the laws.
Oh, yeah.
Afternoon, Michael.
Well, that's the thing. They don't care, do they? If they did, then they would, like I said, they'd do something about it. But the thing is like, you've got to think to yourself, do they actually care? No, they don't. Because if they, you know.
I got to admit, and for those that will remember my early videos, most of the time round here, I said the police were spot on.
Yeah.
Now, one of my first videos was when I had that bit of hassle with outside B&M over the other guy because he was in there without a mask. I was defending him, and then they started on at me. But when I was walking about, because I used to go out daily for a walk for 2-3 hours, and I always had my GoPro on.
Right.
Now, I used to talk to the PCSOs and some of the coppers that used to be walking up and down the shopping precinct or up the park and that.
Yeah.
And I just used to question them. I said, how far do you think you can go on these laws that you've got, these extra powers? And they didn't have a fucking clue.
Yeah, of course
I just pulled out 2-3 sheets of paper. I said, well, here's the legislation. Here's the orders from the government. Here's the orders from your bosses. Have a fucking read of that. And they were shocked. I said, no, you haven't got the powers you thought you fucking had, have you? And they actually went back to the police station because I gave them a copy of it. And I saw one of them, I think it was about 2 weeks in, and he come up to me in the street. He said, oh, morning, Rog. And he was introducing me to one of his colleagues. He said, this is the guy I was telling you about. He said, you can ask him anything about the lockdown and the laws. He said, you will not get the fucking better of him. But apparently he'd gone back to the station and was telling the rest of the lads up there. And every day from then on, they cursed me because they had an extra 10 minutes briefing every day at the start of the shift on the laws on what they can and can't do. And after that, I just flouted the rules. I knew what I could do and what I couldn't. I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to change my life. And they always gave me a friendly wave or a morning Rog as I was walking through the town, or I'd stop and wave at the CCTV cameras as I walked past.
Do you know what? Here's an interesting question that I've always had on my mind, but I know obviously it works differently in America, but in the UK, there's. I mean, I'll be careful what I say because I don't want to get it wrong. If I do get it wrong, then correct me if you know the correct answer. So when it comes to public places, right, about how you can record and photograph in public places, yeah. If you go to, let's just say, a shopping centre, right? It doesn't matter how big the shopping centre is. You go to a shopping centre, right? Asda, Morrison's, whatever, and as you know, that is a private, like the building itself, not anything, not the actual floor, but the building itself is a private business, you could say, right? Whereas when you go, when the doors open from their opening times up until they close, right, that is considered public accessible. As long as you don't go into any restricted areas
Yep.
that are signposted, so you know where you shouldn't be going, it is considered publicly accessible.
Yes.
Now, if you was to walk around with a camera or any sort of camera type device, whether it be on your chest, on your head, on your hat, whatever, if you've got some sort of device that can take a video, 1 minute, that can take a video,
Yep.
right, and you walk in and they tell you you're not allowed to record, are you allowed or are you not allowed to record? Bearing in mind,
It's a very grey area, mate. There's
Oh.
been auditors that have won cases against it, and there's those that have lost.
right,
Apparently, you're meant to ask permission.
Yeah, I think it comes down to the signage.
right.
Most
what if
of
the-
them are
what if
putting
there's no
new
sign?
signs up now saying if you want to record, you must obtain permission first.
Yeah,
But the law says basically that you can. You
right,
know,
okay.
Again, it like I say, people have won cases for it, and people have
And
lost
people have
cases
lost,
for it.
yeah. So that leads me on to my next question, if it's all right, Roger.
Yeah,
So you've got public places. Again, you said there's a grey area. Sometimes some people have managed to win, some people have lost because of this, right? Especially in like
Yeah.
supermarkets and that. Now, let's say, because so Tina mentioned the channel a while back called Long Island Audits, which is
yeah,
a auditor channel in America. Which, to be honest,
Yeah.
I think I prefer him compared to other auditors because he knows his stuff and he's respectful to people. He doesn't go out there and start giving people abuse, right? Now, so a channel like that, right? Do you know if you go to a publicly accessible building that is paid by the taxpayer, we'll say a police station, for example, like going inside, not staying outside,
Or a library, yeah.
or a library or anything like that, where it's like I said, where it's publicly accessible, and the taxes. So you know what I mean. The people that pay tax, that money or part of that money goes towards those buildings and stuff like that, right? Now, can you go into that building, like a library, and record because it's public? As long as you don't go into any restricted areas.
a bit of
I've
a
seen
grey
people chucked out of
area.
libraries.
Say that again.
I've seen people chucked out of libraries.
Yeah, and
For filming.
also some police stations that they'll abide by the open space, public space law.
Yeah.
They'll let you film in the foyer, but that's as far as it goes.
Right.
Others won't let you pass the door. And I mean, I don't do auditing. I don't watch a lot of auditors, but
Fair enough.
you can't compare what they do in this country to the American version.
Yeah, no, because there's a lot of different laws. It's like you've got what, the First Amendment, Second Amendment, Fourth Amendment, all those different
it's
things
not
in
just
America.
that. There's lots of other laws, ins and outs.
Yeah.
There's
It's a
local
lot
laws in
more.
each state. It's in each state. There's local laws in America. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, each state and stuff has different laws, like you said. Yeah, so
Yeah, there's one where they brought a law in, I think it was the beginning of this year,
right.
where no member of the public is allowed to film or record any emergency services personnel going about their lawful business.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, anyone that lived in that state where that law did apply, you would think to yourself, right, let's put yourself in a situation where, I don't know, let's say you're in your house. I mean, it could be anything, any sort of crime, not necessarily you've committed, but someone else has committed and you've witnessed it, right? Now, because I know in America, I do see lots of people where they actually try and help the police. And some people have actually been prosecuted in America because they've helped the police, but because they used force when they wasn't saving themselves or defending themselves, they were defending the police. They still got thingied for it, right? Use that as an example, yeah. If you are witnessing the police abusing their powers, right? And yeah, if you see them doing something that they shouldn't be, and you pull your camera out in that state, right? Now, bearing in mind what you just said is that it's illegal, or whatever, you know, to record any emergency service personnel. That can include EMS, fire, police, whatever, right? By that logic, that means that even if the police are abusing their powers, or let's just say they've killed 2 dogs, or let's just say they've killed someone, it doesn't matter what they've done, right? Effectively, even if that evidence could be used in court, it can't be used in court because you're effectively committing a criminal offence because you're recording.
Yeah.
That's if that law comes in. And with the online safety bill that's coming in, I think that is one of the terms in it, that you will not be allowed to record any emergency services.
Yeah.
Is this the online safety bill? Is this for the UK?
Yes.
Yeah.
That one is actually worded. I think it's something like you can film the emergency services.
Yeah.
But if they're on an actual emergency, either an ambulance, fire brigade, fire, somebody being hurt, or the police arresting somebody, then they'd be classed as on an emergency call, and that would be illegal to film that, or probably not illegal to film it, but illegal to put it out in public.
That's stupid, because what if they were because I've seen videos of police officers absolutely bashing someone's head in because they were trying to arrest them, and they closed. I don't know if you might have seen it. It was in Birmingham. They closed the door on the person that was filming while they were in someone's house. It was, I don't know, I think they were off of an ethnic minority or something like that. And they were being beaten, like their head was being beaten to death by this old fat copper. And they shut the door. So the person that was recording couldn't see what was going on.
Yeah.
The
police interpret everything differently, mate. There's, the auditors, yes, they do put out the odd one where the police have been good, respectful, stuck to the law, and stuff like that. But then, rightly so, one was talking to him in London. He said, well, okay, you keep hassling us for going around recording and taking pictures. Why don't you do the same to the tourists? Because they're doing nothing different to us. I'm not talking about the ones that go and poke their cameras around the police stations. I'm talking about the ones just filming public buildings, taking pictures around Parliament.
Well, the thing is, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with being a tourist.
Exactly. Why do they hassle them? They don't hassle the tourists when they do it.
It's because they have. Well, I mean, my opinion on it is, I believe that they're doing it because they've got nothing else better to do, and they just want to bring their ego up to make them look big and hard.
What they're trying to do is install fear into the public.
Yeah, that's right. They're trying to
say, when we say something, you've got to do it. When we say,
but they put what's been forgotten about. They're all dancing to the Home Secretary's tune, and the police by consent.
Yes.
If we withdraw our consent, there is no police force.
Yep.
And you see what happens if there's no police force in areas of America where they defunded the police. You can see what's happening there now.
Yeah,
Murph, I'm actually glad that you actually said police force, not police service, when they changed their terminology, because police force it dictates that that they might use a lot of force and stuff like that. And you're right, because they do it all the time. Police service makes it look like that they're there for us, and they're willing to help, and they're dedicated to help, and all these things. So you're right on that. They are a police force, they're not a police service.
I thought I heard somebody at the front door.
No, it's it's with the police. I'm disappointed in what I see of them now. I mean, I've had a lot. I used to coach rugby for England, so I've had a lot of police friends. There's a lot of police that bring their kids along. There's a lot of police coaches. So I've had a lot of police friends over my years who were fair coppers and fair coppers, but they didn't take shit from anyone. You know what I mean?
Oh, where did I hear it? I was watching. Don't know if any of you watch it. It's I think it's LBC or GB News. I don't know if that's mainstream or not. If that's considered mainstream media.
Well, I listen to LBC.
Say that again.
I listen to LBC. I'm in Dubai, but I listen to LBC every day.
Yeah, I do watch LBC now and again. There was a copper, an ex. I don't know what rank he was, but it was an ex copper from the Met, and I forgot the topic was about. I think it was something to do with
The Scottish guy, the Scottish outgoing,
possibly.
who turned around and said that his whole force is institutionally racist.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was on LBC. It was on Nick Ferrari the other day. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. And the thing is, right, is I don't disagree, in my opinion.
And that's not just part of the police Scotland, that's all of them.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but
They all
the thing
come
was,
under the
he
same
was
badge up there.
disingenuous. He was disingenuous because the bugger's leaving next month.
Yeah.
He's been there. He's been there for 6 years. If it's so what do you call it? Something corrupt, institutionally corrupt. Why didn't he do something about it in the 5 years he was there?
Same as Caressa the Dicks.
Yeah, Well, President Dick. I mean, she was just a whipping boy.
Well, I mean, what a lot of people think about her, it's in her own name. Her last name is what a lot of people think about her.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I
and
used to call her caressing her dicks, didn't I?
oh Lord. But no, I do like it when coppers are named and shamed and stuff. But
rightly so. Rightly so.
I mean, okay, this is something that's been popping up on Facebook a lot recently. Now, I don't know why it's popping up because I'm not even watching the videos. But do you know what is it? Do you know the guy Stinson Hunter? Do you know him?
No.
Never heard of him.
He's basically a paedophile hunter. So he pretends to be. I mean, you kind of get the crack of the situation. He tends to be. Tends to be.
What they do.
Yeah. Well, as much as my personal opinion, as much as I don't disagree with what they're doing, the fact that they're catching people who are solely looking for children. Let's just put it as bluntly as possible. As much as I don't disagree with what they're doing, I also do disagree in a way with what they're doing because, I mean, I don't necessarily say they're interfering with police investigations. I wouldn't necessarily say that, but I don't know. I mean, is there a way to go about like looking for paedophiles and exposing them without going to that, or telling them to meet up or whatever, and then to
Well, fortunately, I'm a bit of an expert on this subject because I live in the Philippines.
Online.
I live in the Philippines, and because of the poverty in the Philippines, you've got whole families there who are filming their kids getting abused and filming their babies getting abused and everything else. And
am I making you all seasick?
Stuart had already said stop walking around.
I'm walking around. I can't help it.
And they turned around. The Philippines government turned around and said that if you're walking around with anyone less than 21 years of age and you're an older fella, you better turn around and have a bloody good excuse while you're walking around with them because they will arrest you straight away. Because of the amount of the paedophiles got scared off in the West, so now they're all going to the Philippines, and this is where because they know poverty is the answer to get near kids. So that's what's happening there. So it's not good, not good.
No, it's not. And the thing is like, I don't even know what the best way to, because I mean, it's a bit of a touchy subject because it's one of those subjects where it's like, people don't want to talk about it because it's like
well, it's like I said the other week, Jack, on I think it was Dan's live. Now this online safety bill, a lot of it I'm behind.
Yeah,
I absolutely fucking agree with it.
Yeah.
Those little bits that they've sneaked in between all them good bits that will affect people like me, Dan, Murph, contact creators on YouTube. It's those little bits that they've snuck in that they didn't need to. It's nothing to do with fucking online safety. It's to do with following the narrative, and that's why it's in there.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, because I haven't actually seen it myself, could you briefly explain what the online safety bill's about?
It's about they're using the advert as it's to protect women and children online.
Right.
But some of it is actually designed to suppress opinions, counter talks, disagreements about something.
Yeah.
It's designed to suppress your opinions and your freedom of expression.
Right.
That is one half of it. The other half, yeah, well more than half, I totally agree with, because a lot of it in there does make sense. But even with all this technology, they're still not going to be implement a lot of it because the technology isn't there. They
It's
can't
retrospective. It's going to be
every
retrospective,
single
isn't it?
comment,
You know?
every single person that's creating an account. You know yourself, Jack. You're a bit of a whiz on the tech side of things.
Yeah.
How easy is it to create a false account?
Easy. Very, very easy.
Absolutely. You can find your parents' bank statements, credit cards. You can use anything.
You can forge them as well. I know obviously it's a criminal offence to do that, but you can forge them as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's easy to do it. I'm not trying to say I forge documents myself, but you literally could. I mean, the things like a birth certificate, for example, if you was to scan it and all this stuff, you could put it into Photoshop, and you can. The amount of editing you can do nowadays, it's amazing. You can edit things to make it look like as if it's the original.
Well, you don't even need to do that. I mean, look
Well,
at
you
that
mean
guy
like my
that was
COVID
running
certificate?
the passport scam. They were absolutely genuine passports from people that looked like them.
Yeah, man.
And
Yeah.
he was even leaving the original photographs in, so they weren't even tampered with.
Yeah, I hope you're not. I hope you're not referring to my COVID vaccine certificate, are you?
In the drawer here somewhere, I've actually got a Cornish passport.
Oh, I get that joke there. I get that joke.
I was presented with that when I was made an honorary Cornishman.
I fly all over the Middle East, you know, and I just hand this thing in, and they go, "Oh yeah, you got it. Okay, no problem. Off you go."
I haven't had a passport. When did my last one run out? Must have been 15 years ago, 20 years ago now.
I've got the big. I've got the business one, 55 pages.
Isn't it crazy?
Last time I used it. Oh, hello. Yeah. This might be the doctor's call. Hang on a minute, guys. Hello.
Huh?
Yes, it is. Yeah, hang on. Can I just mute something? So I'm on a live stream at the moment. I'll speak to you in a minute, guys. I'm going to mute and turn my speakers down because this is.
Yeah, no worries.
No worries. No worries. But yeah, I mean, with the online safety bill, what they did is commendable in a lot of ways. You know, it's to stop online grooming. It's to stop a lot of things happening. But unfortunately, what they've done is they've taken the opportunity while they're putting on this online safety bill is to hit people like yourself and myself.
Yeah.
But if they don't like the narratives, they can just shut us down.
Well, this is the thing, right? So a while back, obviously, the only Twitter account I've ever had was regarding my YouTube channel, right? That was the only sort of Twitter account. I've never had a personal Twitter account. I've never needed one. And for no reason. Now I do keep on top of when it comes to, you know, you'll get your suspicious activity on your account from different companies and stuff, and I'm pretty much on it, right? If it happens on my computer, well, I mean, sometimes I might not get the email straight away because I have to actually go into Gmail, the app itself. Sometimes it doesn't come up like as a notification on my phone, which is a bit annoying. But when I see that, I'm on it like a cob on it, you can say. And when it came to Twitter, I didn't see any like the suspicious activities on my account. I thought, okay, what's happened here then? And Twitter had permanently suspended my account for violating the Twitter guidelines or whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, what have I done? I've not tweeted anything.
Well,
and 9 times out of 10, you won't get your account back. And the thing is, I've tried 3 times to try and get it back, and I can't. So I just thought, you know what, forget it. And to be honest, Reddit, I mean, I don't really use Reddit a lot, but Reddit's supposed to be much better than Twitter because they don't censor you as much. There's not as much censorship on Reddit compared to Twitter.
I know. But I mean, it doesn't matter what forum you're on.
No, it doesn't. You're absolutely right.
They've all got their rules. Some try and keep people on there, like Reddit keeps people on there because they do allow them to say a lot more. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, you're right.
Yeah.
And the thing is, well, it's like I remembered about over a month ago. I was on one of Dan's live streams, and so let's just say, Dan, do you know like one of those apps where you can convert audio? Do you know any audio or video files, like an MP4 to an MP3, for example, if you want to change one of those? Yeah. Well, it was a legit app, except it was one of those versions where you didn't have to, like, it removed all of the, like, you didn't have to pay for a license or anything like that. The license was embedded in it, and my silly brain not realizing this, and then all of a sudden, like, about half an hour later, I noticed that I was getting emails from YouTube saying that they removed my content. Thinking, what's going on here? I haven't uploaded any content. And there's videos saying, how to install, or how to download Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Premiere Pro. I'm thinking, I ain't done this, and they were removing it. YouTube was. Now YouTube actually, so I didn't know this, but my other account, which is a backup, that actually got removed from YouTube. They removed my other account, not on the same day. Eventually, though, I got it back. Eventually, I did get it back. Over a month, I thought I'd put in another appeal again, and I got it back. So that's no issue. And I think it was the following day after Dan's live stream when I'd mentioned it on there. My Amazon account, there was a suspicious payment on my Amazon account. Someone had tried spending 50 quid on a gift card that was sent to one of my very first Outlook accounts that I used when I was younger, but I don't use anymore. But when I went to check it, there was nothing in there because Amazon had actually cancelled it, and they'd actually frozen my Amazon account. It took me a little while.
Verify,
yeah, it took me a little while to get it back. I did get it back. It took me maybe a day or two, something like that. It didn't take long. I mean, it took a little bit longer than I wanted it to, but I did get it back. And obviously, from now on, what I've done now is I just make sure. So, do you know the option when you sign in on your computer, like it will say, like whether or not if you don't want to require a one-time password every time you try and log in. Well, I don't tick that. I don't tick that anymore. I don't even click remember me or keep me signed in. I don't tick that anymore. So
I just use Thumbprint.
You what?
I use Thumbprint.
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 Oh, no, that's on my computer. On my phone, my phone was okay. There was nothing wrong with my phone.
On my computer as well. I've got a thumb scanner.
Oh, right, okay. That's probably using that Windows Hello thing, which is pretty cool. I do like that.
It's Dell. It's just something I've used for years, and
that's pretty cool. The fact you've got one. Is it built into your laptop or computer?
Yeah. It's built into my laptop. Yeah, Dell did them for years. Yeah, Dell did them for years, where you can actually just turn around because I have a 30-second timeout. If I'm not looking at the computer or anything like that, it'll time out and lock itself out, and I just touch my thumb to it, and bang, it opens up straight away again.
Well, that's the thing with passwords as well, because obviously you can use Windows Hello. Normally, sometimes when you forget your password, you go into like Google Chrome or whatever, and you can you have to put your PIN in normally, like to log in, like you would to log into the computer, so you can see what your password is for that specific website, with the Google's built-in password manager, right?
That's right. Yeah.
But with obviously Windows Hello, there'll be several ways you can log in. You can either use your PIN, or if you want to do it quickly and you've got like a thumbprint, or you've got one set up, then if you've got one, you can do that. I've got a little device. I've got a device on I've got a thing I bought a while back called Tobii Eye Tracker, which is actually for gaming, but you can actually use it to log into your computer just by looking at it's like a camera lens, but it goes either at the bottom of your monitor or at the top of your monitor. But mainly at the bottom, I think it is the bottom, yeah. And all you have to do is look at it, just gaze at the camera, and it will automatically unlock based on your eyes, your retinas, which is really cool. But
afternoon, Danny. I nearly said good evening then.
Well, I got messages.
Well, it's good evening for me. It's 10 to 7 here in Dubai.
One of my consultants, the lovely Dr. Lee, I think she's Korean. I think either Korean or Japanese. Very nice.
Yeah.
My bloods haven't changed. They've still got the thick cells in there.
Right.
Because the test hasn't been arranged yet. At the big QE hospital in Birmingham,
Yeah.
which I've got to go and have some special blood test and what have you. Because that hasn't been arranged yet, she wants me to be reviewed again next month.
Yeah.
Where I'll have another blood test. If the cells are still getting too fat and there's too many of them, then I'll have to have another venous section, which is take another point out. And
Right. Okay.
and obviously that will be depending on the results of the blood test the week before.
It's
But
funny you
she's gonna
mention that, though.
chase me GP up because I've been waiting for 2 months now for an appointment for this test.
Yeah.
And the GP only fucking referred it yesterday.
Well, they keep messing more about with our appointments. You know, regarding the neurologer, they keep prolonging it. They keep changing the appointment dates, and apparently she needs to go for another MRI to see if anything's changed, see if she's got any more lesions on her back, her spine, or her head, her brain. I meant. But with Mum, I think it was yesterday. So she went to book an ambulance ready for, I can't remember what date it was now, 30th or 29th or something like that. So it's very, 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 very soon, in a few days or whenever, right? And so Mum, so I don't know how their rules are, but even now they treat the system that they use, they treat it as if it's still COVID. Because when Mum rang up and said about my son will be coming, I'll be going with her. They said, he's not allowed to come or whatever she said, right? So they're still treating it like it's still like COVID, like they're still scared of COVID.
That changes from hospital to hospital. Since the NHS actually said they dropped all the restrictions.
Yeah.
The local one I go to here, which I used to work in, they really don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Well, the thing is
they wear, the nurses and that wear masks, but that's only because it's policy.
Yeah. Well, do you know when Mum told them that I'm a carer, because I am. I'm a main carer. So I used to have a card when I was younger. When I was a young carer, I used to have a card which says that obviously it's not valid anymore, but it said that I would be privy to all of Mum's medical information and stuff upon request. And they couldn't deny it. And the thing is, because Mum's gave me all those permissions in regarding to that, because Mum's not as able-bodied as she used to be, they can't be like, oh well, we need your Mum's consent first. No, you don't. Mum's already gave her consent. It's not like I need a power of attorney or anything like that for Mum. No. I can still.
It's just specific circumstances that you need to be involved in.
Yeah, exactly. And the thing is they can't deny me to it. Like, if they need to tell Mum something that's quite, I mean, it depends on how private something is. If it's something about Mum specifically that I shouldn't hear, that, then that's understandable. But if it's something that I need to know, medical information or whatever, then they need to.
Well, you need access to that in an emergency anyway.
Yeah, of course.
Cameras.
So what was the upshot anyway? Once she identified that you were a carer, are you going in with her, or do you have to make your own way there separately?
What did they say, Mum? Do you know? When you told the lady on the phone that I'm your carer and that I'm coming in with you, what did she say afterwards? Do you know? Oh, right. Oh, right. That's what she said. Right. So she changed the tone of her voice when Mum said that to her. She didn't really say a lot, and she asked the reason for why I need to be with her when Mum told her that I'm her carer, which makes no sense. And then Mum had to explain, well, I have seizures. But the thing is, all of this information is noted on the system. Mum's gave her information out, a date of birth, a name, all these things that they record that they need. But yet they can't be asked to check the system and see, oh, well, she has epilepsy, she's got this, she's got that. You know, so they're not. It reminds me of the doctor's
But
surgery when you go to
this
the
is like the
doctor.
taxi service, isn't it? It's not a full blown ambulance that's going to take her, is it? Or is it? It's a taxi service type thing.
It's basically the tassel private ambulances, the ones that
Yeah,
work.
which I don't think they've got privy to all of the medical information. You
No.
see?
But
They haven't.
they've got privy to some though, haven't they?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Do they not?
No,
Well, the thing-
no, I
well,
don't think so.
well,
I think
when
because they
Mum-
are basically a taxi service.
They
Well,
don't
I'm-
take notice of a lot of these rules anyway. I mean, when Heather's mother died, she had dementia for a long time.
Yeah.
She knew she was going. She'd said her goodbyes and she'd had enough, and she just gave up. Now,
Yeah.
there was, and her mother agreed with it, as well as the rest of the family agreed to put DNR in place.
Right.
Now, the morning she died, it was just before Heather was due to go to work.
Yeah.
And the care home had rang and said, oh, we thought we'd better let you know the paramedics are here working on her now, trying to resuscitate her.
Right.
So I said, look, there's a DNR in place, so can you please stop? And they wouldn't listen to me. I actually had to go upstairs, get Heather on the phone and break it to her news that her mother had just died and they were trying to bring her back while she was sat in bed. And she had to tell them, look, no, there is a DNR. I'm her daughter. Please stop trying to resuscitate her.
Well, yeah. If there's a specific instruction that for them not to resuscitate, do not resuscitate, and they do it, can they actually can anything actually happen to them for continuing to resuscitate when
I don't
there's
know, mate. I don't know anybody that's bought a case of that type.
No, I think the doctor has the right to overrule a DNR.
yeah,
The
but the
doctor
thing
has, yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if someone's asked for them to not to be resuscitated, and you do that anyway, right? And I mean, I don't know. It's a bit weird. It's like you're not valuing it, especially if it comes from the person that is effectively on their last legs before they
Yes,
pass away.
they do need proof. The care home had a written authorization. They had a note saying it, as did the paramedics should have had as well. As soon as they walked in, that should have been passed on to them, but they didn't.
Yeah, no, that's right. It should be.
I've had one in place for years on myself.
Oh yeah.
And I check every few years that it is still on record. Literally because some of the activities I used to get up to, my sports and that, were very, very dangerous.
Yeah.
And as we all know, motor racing, motorcycling, stuff like that, head injuries are very, very common. I mean, Michael Schumacher, for one instance, just hitting his head skiing. And I always said at a young age that I don't want to end up like that. I don't want to be a burden. So I said, if I'm ever in that state, then it's DNR.
Yeah.
You know.
The thing is,
with Schumacher, he wasn't going to die, was he? He was brain dead, but not not brain damaged, but not dead.
I wouldn't want to live like that. And if I did heart failure or something, I wouldn't want them bringing me back to it.
can I actually still get one of them, because I'm not a young carer anymore?
Anybody can get one, as long as you can prove you're 18 ID and stuff like that. You can tell your doctor to put it on your record. Because they were going around the hospitals when they not forcing, but persuading kids to sign them during COVID.
Anyways, what is it? Hold on, I'm just reading what it.
But anyway, moving on from that.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, just before I was just going to say, just before I moved on, I was just going to say about Mum. It's like when Mum, I mean, obviously, I didn't know that. I thought they did have access to some information, but obviously, thanks for correcting me because I thought they did have it. So
No,
that's
no, they're
my
not allowed to have it.
apologies.
No.
No, it's data protection. Data protection. They're not allowed to have it.
So when Mum eventually, when she said about she has seizures and that, she then finally clocked on and was like, okay, and that all got all sorted. But it's like it's bad enough for the doctor surgery. Do you know when you ring them up, or it's like, I mean, recently Mum's been ringing up and they open at 8 o'clock in the morning, and sometimes Mum will be on the phone constantly ringing. And then having to hang up because it ends the call, then having to redial, do that over again. And sometimes she won't get through to the doctors till about 10 o'clock. And then they'll say, oh, they've got no more phone consultations. You'll be like, hold on a minute, I've been trying to ring for 2 hours, constantly.
That's one
Yeah,
good
so
thing
is everyone
about
else.
one. It's only round the corner. If you want an appointment, you can usually, if you walk in and stand in the queue at 8 o'clock, they'll usually give you an appointment for that day.
Yeah, well, our doctor's surgery is literally if you walk in, it's about a 5-minute walk. Literally, it's only up the road. Literally, we're on the same road as the doctor's surgery, so it's not like we need to walk far. But the thing is that can't always be the case for Mum because of Mum's disabilities and stuff.
Yeah.
It can take her quite a bit of time to get herself sorted and out, and by the time we get down there, she'll either be late for the appointment or there'll be other complications. I know Mum does want to get out more. Well, she'll be able to soon because Mum and Dad are going on holiday, just them two. Not yet, but soon. Not today. So it would just be me and my brother that is in control of the house. We won't burn it down. I've already said that.
Don't make promises you can't keep.
Oh no, I'm not. Oh yeah, I can keep it. Trust me. And I certainly won't be rinsing through the
What's
electric
going on
either.
out there?
But do you hear about the energy bills supposedly going down from what 2,500 to like what? Is it 2,000? Is it something like that?
Yeah, but only until September.
And then what? They're going to bring it back, and then they're going to bring it up to like 3,000 something.
Well, no, then they bring it down during the summer because people are not turning the boiler on as much. They're not using as much energy. They're out and about. They're in the garden.
Do we know what
bills go down.
Do we know what they're going to put it back up to?
No, not as yet. You won't know until September. But you
you know what?
You guarantee it will be a lot lower. It will be in a situation where they turn around and you'll be paying through the nose during the winter.
They'll put it back up at the end of September.
Everyone round to Jack's. No parties at my house.
Roger did a thing on it yesterday on his live stream, and I said, "Oh, you're talking about the price crap," and he didn't pick up on it, and he turned around.
Yeah, no parties at my house. That's a no-go.
Think at the moment reducing the cap by that amount is going to make a great deal of difference to
No, it's not.
else.
It's not
because they weren't charging up to the cap before. Most people won't notice any difference whatsoever.
What are you looking at me like that for? You're looking at me like that.
But you got the IMF saying, "Oh no, yeah, Britain might be at risk in the future of a recession." Idiot Roland has always said, no, we won't dip into a recession. And then the idiot comes out yesterday and says, well, we're probably going to have to put you into one.
Well, put it this way: if America doesn't come to a deal between the Democrats and the Republicans in the next 5 to 6 days, they are going to default on their loans.
Yeah. Sorry, guys, in the chat, I haven't been keeping up on that.
And if they default on the loans, it will be a case that there will be a worldwide recession. It won't be a case of there will be the markets will collapse, everything will collapse. America has never.
There's several countries that are getting it already, aren't there?
Yeah. So they have to come to an agreement, and they're fighting like cat and dog. And it's because they need to raise it above 31.2 billion, which is what it is at the moment. And in sort of like 7 days, they're going to reach that. and it's a cap. They cannot go above it. So if they hit that target, they cannot pay their bills.
No.
Do you know what is becoming more of an issue now? I mean, it's already becoming an issue anyway. Mortgage rates for those that pay mortgages.
Well, it's not
They're
just
going to get higher.
mortgages,
They're going to
Jack.
get
Well,
higher.
no, that's just one of the things. But I'm just using
The
that as
interest rates. One, it's going to force mortgage prices up higher,
yeah,
which people will default on because they won't be able to absorb a £100, £200 rise. But not only that, the businesses that will go out of business through it, which is bumping up the unemployment again.
yeah. So they're actively hurting the economy and the population and everyone around, right? While trying to say they're trying to fix it. So that they're saying that they're doing the opposite, and they're saying
Well, this is
that
what Jeremy's plan is. He's urging higher interest rates.
Yeah.
And he thinks that will thwart the inflation.
But it won't.
Well, I mean, legal and general today pulled out of the mortgage debt market.
Yeah.
They said it's too volatile.
Well, there was that other financial institution, wasn't it, where they all said, "No, bollocks, we ain't coming into you lot," and the thing's just disappeared now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But here, Jack, here's a nice little statistic. You like these sort of things. The
Okay.
most popular baby's name in Galway in Ireland.
Yeah.
What
is that?
What do you think it is?
Not Jack, is it?
No.
Muhammad?
Bang
What?
on. Muhammad.
Mohammed.
It's the number one name in the
is the
UK.
most popular name in Galway.
And
for
in the
babies
UK.
born in the last year.
And in the UK. It's the number one name in the UK.
That reminds me. Actually, did you see the viral video of two coloured lads going into some random's house and some random
Mizzy.
person's house in London?
Mizzy, yeah. He's been arrested again today.
Yeah.
Again?
Yeah. Part of his order for going the other day was to not go online at all, not to post any videos, and the idiot went and posted the video, so he's been arrested.
Wait, to be honest, he deserves it. Honestly, that's the one time where I can say that the police are finally doing something good.
Absolutely.
He's turning around. He's saying it's because he's black. He's black.
It's got nothing to do with ethnic minority or to do with.
This is racism.
It's not right. And obviously, I know you're not saying it, but I know that's what he's saying. It's racist.
Using it as a defence.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing is, I commend the police on this occasion that they're actually doing something, because the thing is,
it just proves that if they use the online safety bill right, it can work.
Yeah, but the thing is the way in which they want to use it is completely different to how its intended purpose is.
Yeah.
The way it will be used, it will be abused.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you there. I can't disagree. But the thing is that Mizzy guy doesn't. I don't care. It doesn't matter whether or not if he's black, white, pink, orange. It doesn't matter what color. It doesn't matter what ethnic background you are. If you break the law, you break it. Well, it means is it breaking and entering even if he's not broken anything?
Exactly, Jason. Jason just said it in there. It's got nothing to do with colour. Otherwise, there'd be white boys going around doing it.
Yeah, well, not only that, but I mean, you'd have the likes of BLM and everyone shouting about it, wouldn't it? Oh, you're picking on him, because even they're keeping quiet.
Well, you've got the conspiracy theorists now that are saying he's an infiltrator and he's paid to promote the online safety bill. Look, we can stop this if you vote for it.
But the thing about the online safety bill is that the people far smarter than me will look at it and they'll go, right, okay, and if they're up to any nefarious good, or they're trying to do anything rotten, they're going to find another way of doing it.
Well, Piers Morgan, I mean, as much as I don't like the person, the bloke, I think he's a weirdo, but that's just my opinion. Piers Morgan was trying to interview Mizzy, and Mizzy was having none of it. Yeah.
I saw it, yeah.
And the thing is, I hate it when I don't know if I'm not being racist here, but I personally think that more black people will say slang like "bad man ting" and this and that, right? Than you hear like white. And I'm not saying I don't know if it's a black thing or if it's just something they've been brought up with or what. I don't know.
There you go, Jack. Jason's just put in the chat there, and I did see that interview. He actually said that he can get away with it because he can use his.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. The thing is, though, I'm glad. I mean, you said he's been arrested today, right? As well.
Yeah, he's been arrested today. Yeah.
These influencers.
Yeah. Well,
on there.
I'm glad. I'm glad he's been
15 minutes
arrested.
of fame. They make a lot of money and then they just disappear into obscurity.
Well, that's the thing. I'm glad that he's been arrested again. I'm glad he's been arrested twice.
Yeah,
if anything, I'd promote him. I'd promote for him to be arrested more if he keeps doing this. Because the thing is, he is effectively causing Section 4A Public Order Act. He is intentionally causing harassment or harm, distress. And there's lots of other legislation.
Anybody that walked into my house like that would absolutely have the right to remain fucking unconscious. Let's put it that way.
I'm taking the fifth.
Wrong country. No, but honestly, he doesn't. People like that don't deserve to be on social media at all. They don't even deserve to be on the internet.
No.
Don't deserve to be anywhere near a computer or a mobile phone. That's just my opinion.
Yep.
Bloody hell, what the hell is that? It sounded like an explosion.
Wasn't me.
No, it's a motorbike outside. It sounded like a bloody explosion. I think it was the exhaust.
We get that here. You hear them hit the speed humps outside the school. Go. You get a lorry full of scaffolding come along there at like 7 o'clock at night.
That video you did a while back. Now, I was going to ask you earlier, but I forgot. Now I've reminded myself. The video you did a while back about there was a crash or something outside the school.
Oh yeah, that was right outside my front door. Yeah.
What do you know what the video was called at all?
I can't remember what it was offhand.
Because I know that you had a bit of you was recording, doing nothing wrong, and all of a sudden this Karen, I would call is it him or her? I can't remember.
Yeah, she was actually, I think, the daughter of the bloke who tipped the car over.
Yeah,
now,
bit of a Karen.
First of all, she said, "Oh, don't film the driver." I said, "Well, you've been stood there listening, my love," and I actually actively said that I won't film the driver for personal reasons,
Yeah.
Well, I won't show his identity, but as I'm walking away, I said, "Yeah, they said this happened at 15 mile an hour."
There's no way that could have happened at 15 mile an hour.
Oh, no, we were only doing 15 mile an hour. I said, "You weren't, love."
Yeah.
I've raced cars for years, and the distance you shoved that car down the road and the distance you slid on your roof, you were doing a damn sight more than 15 mile an hour.
Did you watch it happen?
No, I heard the bang, and I thought nothing of it because over the road at the school, their builders had just fired up. And they've been dropping big lumps of concrete into a skip, and you know what that sounds like when you drop it.
Yeah, it's awful.
Well, that was the sound I heard. And I'd got up a minute or two later and looked out the bedroom window and, oh, fuck me, there's a car upside down in the road. So that was it. Quick, I didn't even have my normal camera to start with. I had my little bridge camera, my Fujifilm. So I filmed some of that with that one, but that only had a 10-minute limit on the videos you can do.
Oh, right, the old style, yeah.
Yeah. So when I went back out a few minutes later, after a lot of them had left the scene, and I was just walking around the car and that, I'd actually set my phone up then with a microphone and everything, and went back out with that.
Yeah. I don't know.
But I don't have, like these big posh cameras that people use and whatever. If I'm filming outside, it's either from a tripod with my GoPro or something, or a chest rig, or my phones.
Just let me know.
The only one I'm having problems with at the moment is one of my webcams.
Right.
Dan was going to send me some, but obviously he's got other things on his mind at the moment. He's got 3 for me to try because I've got this one that just keeps freezing. And it's nothing to do with the computer because it did exactly the same when it was plugged into the other computer.
It could be to do with the fact maybe it overheats. That could be one of the reasons.
Yeah, because it is a HD one.
Well, the
Well,
thing
it's
is,
like me. Last weekend, I turned around and I said, right, I'm scheduling a live. I'm going to go live on Saturday afternoon. But this is what it is. So it'll be Saturday morning with you guys. And so I spent 3 hours setting up all the lighting, doing all the because I had someone who wanted to come on with me. So there would have been two of us. So I set up all the microphones, doing all of that into the Road Plus 2, onto the cameras, setting everything up. Went to go live and it wouldn't let me.
And you had one waiting on that one.
Huh?
When you put that live up,
Yeah.
the link to it, you had one person waiting.
Oh, that's more than I usually get.
And then it didn't happen.
When I start talking drivel, trust me, it can go ping-pong pretty damn quick,
I do like that about live streams. You can schedule them just like videos, so it doesn't actually go out straight away. Except the difference with videos and live streams when you schedule them is the videos you can't see until they'll automatically get published at a certain time. Whereas live streams, when you schedule them, it will just show up as like waiting for the person's channel, like what the channel name is.
I've got YouTube killing me because they turn around, they let me schedule, then they wouldn't let me go live, then they turn around and send me a message that we won't monetize you ever, and I thought, well, geez, I'm doing well here. You know what I mean?
You're obviously hitting the nail somewhere.
I'm doing something right. I didn't think I was that offensive, to be truthful with you. But
Well, they're getting that bad over here now. I can't remember what the channel was, but it is two lads.
The Lotus.
No, not the Lotus podcast. They're totally against the narrative and what's been going on. And they even got kicked out their bank. Their accounts were closed because of their views on their YouTube channel.
Bloody hell!
And that's not the first time it's happened here either. Yeah, that was I think it was NatWest. I've got a feeling it was NatWest because they're one of the worst ones.
Is it? Well, the thing is,
I drew all my money out with them years ago.
Did you?
To another bank, yeah.
Well,
So did my brother. And he's a
Well, I used to work for Lombard North Central, which is part of NatWest, so I could tell you a whole host of stories about NatWest, which I won't, but I could,
But people don't realise that NatWest is owned by Bank of Scotland.
That's right. Which their bank, I think it was in 2008, their bank had fallen because of what was it, the recession or something like that?
No,
because they were selling mortgage debt and they got it. Yeah, and
it was the fall of the crash or something like that. I swear it was, wasn't it? Something had crashed. Just all the stocks had crashed or something. 2008.
The mortgage debt crisis. Yeah, and so the government had to step in. We had to buy Lloyd's Bank, and part of Lloyd's Bank we owned NatWest Bank, and the government sold off another percentage of NatWest Bank only this week.
Yep.
Wow. Well,
the government want that centralised bank, and they'll push for it. Yep, mortgage bonds.
Well, the thing is, right, it will definitely be a bad decision because, people still, although I think it's illegal anyway, but there are people that still do, that still work in, like, they may be self-employed or whatever, that do cash in hand compared to, like, for a bank account that will be taxed. But there are still people now. There were still people that prefer cash over card.
Oh yeah,
100%. It's untraceable to start with.
You see, a lot of people actually think that the Bank of England is the central bank of the UK, but the Bank of England is a private company, just like any other bank.
That's right.
The only thing that they had was they used to look after the government gold, and some Gordon Brown sold that off, but they are actually a private bank.
Well, the thing is this central banking digital currency thing that will eventually, I mean, we can't say possibly because we know it's going to happen at some point, eventually will come into place, and everyone will be, I don't know how they'll do it, but they'll probably convert everyone into this new bank that is centralized, and everyone has to go through this and stuff like that. People will, oh, how should I say it? Lots of people will, I mean, especially those that have got their eyes open and that aren't stupid. Lots of people will try and find other ways or other means of payment. But the thing is if they remove cash completely, then we're fubbing up, aren't we?
Well, what it is, I mean, over here in Dubai, I mean, anyone under the age of 30 just taps their phone whenever they're going around. They have it all on their phone. I've got a lad who lives here in the house, and he turned around the other day and he went, "Oh," he said, "I'm fucked." He said, "I'm fucked." I said, "What happened?" He said, "I dropped my phone." I went, "What's that mean?" He went, "I can't get access to my account." I went, "Have you got a card, a physical card?" He went, "No, it's all on my phone."
Yeah, I've seen that already, Roger.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thing is, as well, I'm with that West Bank, and the fact that you need proof of why you want to withdraw money, that's just stupid. Like, it's got nothing to do with them. It's none of their business.
Yeah, I mean that is only for the larger amounts. But how long before they turn around and say, "Oh yeah, I want to buy a new car, I want this"? No, you can't have your money digitally or any otherwise because we don't want you to own that car.
Yeah. Oh,
You go to a shop.
You're buying a petrol car. We don't agree with that. It's not part of our woke philosophy. So no, you can't have that money. We'll give you the money for an electric car, but not for a petrol car.
Yeah, you'll end up going to a supermarket. You'll put something unhealthy in your basket. You'll get to the till, and it'll turn around and say, "No, we're not going to let you buy that."
And the danger with the central banking is it looks at everything that you buy, like you say, shopping and everything else like that. And they're talking about that employers can come and look at what you're buying habits are. Oh, I see that you bought an awful lot of vodka this month.
Well, there you go, Jack. Lost Soul said it perfectly.
All money is debt.
Money is a debt. You never, ever own any money. All you
don't.
Is own
they don't have
debt.
to give you the money. You've got money in the bank.
So the question is then, okay, because I did have, because I've, for quite a few years, I've always been, when I heard about credit cards, I never really understood about them, right? And I still don't fully understand about them now. But from what I understand is, it's like you've got like a certain amount on the credit card. You use the credit cards. I don't know, so you spent 1,000 on it, right?
Yes, when I saw that.
If you what is it? If you, I don't know about interest rates and stuff. I ain't got a clue. But if you pay the money back, obviously, then obviously, well, it increases your credit score because you're paying back a debt effectively. Whereas with a debit card, it debits the money from your account and it basically credits it to the company that you're purchasing whatever from. Now, a lot of people in America that I've seen videos of say that credit cards are better than debit cards, and I don't know how true that is.
Because America runs on a different system. America runs on credit. You understand? America, each and every day, America is about the big society. It's about having the boat, having the big house, having this, having that, and it's I'm better than the Joneses. So that's the way the Americans work, and it always has been. It's the land of the land of the free. It's the land where you go.
Like they've been doing now, isn't it? With the ones on the lower end of the financial scale, they've been offering them mortgages for way extended periods over a lot of, way over what they earn, basically.
Yeah.
Our credit cards, I mean,
they're
just
forcing them into debt. So you can go and buy that house now, knowing damn well that 5 years down the line that they won't be able to afford it.
And they're cardboard houses as well. Every time there's a typhoon, they all blow down.
Yeah.
Our credit cards, well, we're talking about in the UK anyway, are they better to own than a debit card, like compared to no.
No, because what you're doing, you're borrowing what technically is money, but if you bear in mind the actual amount of physical money in the UK isn't that big. A bank starts off with all it does is it sells debt. So
Right.
if you hold, I mean, I could give you a 2-hour lecture now on what money is, and you'd be absolutely amazed that money doesn't exist. It's just a set of binary numbers that are sent from one bank to another to actually turn around and do it. But the actual physical, tangible money it's not really there. There's only about 2% of the money in the UK is actually in notes and coins.
With a debit card, you can't get yourself into debt. With a credit card, you can.
What about when it comes to overdrafts and stuff like that? When you go over your overdraft, when you've got
Overdrafts
debit?
are
do
a thing of the
you think
past.
every
You know?
time you make a purchase and build your credit scoring up, they offer to lend you more?
Yeah.
They won't tell you when you've reached your limit.
Well, yeah, because they want you to spend more, so you incur more debt, which means you pay more interest.
Yep.
Yep.
That's how they make their money.
I had a proof very similar. When I moved to Bristol, literally every transaction you did years ago down in Cornwall was cash.
Yeah.
More or less every job you did was cash.
I don't remember the last time I actually managed to withdraw some money out the bank. I can't remember.
But when
I'll give you an idea.
you needed
When I first
a bank account to do anything. You needed a bank account for your wages to go in. So I went through all the rigmarole. I opened my bank account. I hadn't had one for bloody years.
Yeah.
All set up, was working great. And the boss said, well, why don't you have a credit card? Build your credit scoring up. He's a big financial wizard. The building side of it was only a pin money business to him. And I said, well, yeah. He said, well, that way you've got a credit history behind you. You haven't got one at the moment. Build it all up. So, yeah, okay. And they sent me a card through from one of them with a £200 limit. And I said, well, okay, yeah, that'll go up. And about a week later, the boss came over to me. He said, you might find your credit card limit going up. I said, why is that then? Well, apparently one of the ones that's high up in this I think it was Capital One. He knew him personally. And he went to him and said, look, the lad works for me. He's all right, sorted. I pay him every month. And within 2 weeks, they'd bumped me up from 200 quid to 10 grand.
Yeah. It's like when I first came to Dubai, I started work in Dubai on the 15th of December. And I wasn't in any rush because I knew I wasn't getting paid until the 15th or the end of the month the following month. So I had about 6 weeks. And I thought, right, well, I'll go and have a look at the banks and I'll see what they do. And I didn't contact any bank, and I'd only just got my telephone number. And suddenly it was I'm sitting at work one day and it was, Emirates Post are here. What are they here for? I said, I've only just arrived. Oh, no, you've got to sign for it. I said, what is it? They said, it's your bank account. And I thought my company had set a bank account up for me. And so I said, all right, lovely, thank you, take it. I didn't even open it. I just put it in my drawer. And I then about a week later, Emirates Post are here. Go down, sign for it, another package. Right, okay, put that in the drawer. And it's happened about 6 or 7 times in before I actually got paid. And about 2 weeks before I got paid, the company rang me up, the head office rang me up and said, can we have your bank account details? I said, I thought you'd already set up my bank account. They said, no, we haven't. No. I said, all right, then I'll go and open one today. So I went down and opened an account, and it turned around anyway. I thought, I wonder what all these bloody boxes are then. So I started opening the boxes, and every bank had suddenly got hold of my telephone number, knew that I was working at the Burj Khalifa, and just started sending me credit cards. I had about 6 bloody credit cards, and I went, fine. And I just took them home and put them in a drawer. I never used them.
No, I cut mine up.
It's the best thing to do, isn't it? Cut them up. That way you can't use them, and that way no one can nick them.
Yeah.
And use them. Well, that's the thing, that when it comes to, when you see like cards on the floor and stuff that people have dropped by accident, right? You've got horrible baskets out there that will just pick it up, go into Greg's or wherever, and just use it, right? Just spend money on it, right? But then you've got honest people that will go out of their way to either
give it you back after they've emptied the account.
Yeah, Well, the thing is, right? You also have. I mean, if I saw someone drop something, maybe money, card, whatever, I'd be like, excuse me, you dropped this or whatever, and then you give it them, right? That's something that an honest person would do, and that's kind and respectful and that. But you don't see a lot of those people nowadays.
No.
I mean, I remember. I think
it's society and what's happening now, the economy, that has also forced a lot of that. I mean, you look at the amount of people now that are getting done for burglaries, literally just to feed the family. They'd never been in trouble before. They'd never even thought of doing that before. They've had a job, and then within 2 years, they can't afford to feed their families.
Well, you're right, and the thing is, right? I actually heard. I think it was an LBC. That's why I mentioned it earlier, but I forgot. An ex-police officer that was from the Met said that when he was serving with the Metropolitan Police, even he, right, wasn't getting. He was getting paid less a year. Like, well, for what he for the amount of money that he gets a year, right? I forgot what it was now. Something about he if he was to go on the dole or whatever, he'd actually be better off. That's what he said, by the way. He'd be better off, and he'd get more money and more support than if he would if he was to continuously work in a full-time job
on top of his police final salary pension.
Yeah. And the thing is, right? As much as the police can be arseholes, right? There are good police out there that do their jobs all right. I'm not saying that we're all well, most of them are crap, but hey, but for those that do the job and how it should be done, right? They deserve the salary that they are worth, that they are, what they're getting, right? And the fact that you can be on benefits and get more money than those that are working their arse off, right, is astounding. I mean, I've always had the opinion that I know hate's a strong word, but I hate those that abuse the benefit system for their own advantage. So
Afternoon, sorry, Jack.
No, it's okay. It's all right. That's fine.
Been ignoring the.
Yeah, no, that's completely fine. That's all right. So yeah, I hate those, or I completely. I'm angered with. Speaking of, just police cars went by. Thankfully, it's not stopping here. I hate those that abuse the benefit system for their own advantage.
What they're saying, what that idiot Rowley came out with.
What?
Now he said he wanted 22,000 new officers in the Met to replace the bad ones he was getting rid of. Now he's already got the 20-odd thousand new recruits. Where's the 20,000 he's got rid of?
Yeah, exactly.
All they're doing is building the force up. They're not getting rid of as many.
Well, isn't there something like 1,000 of them all on suspension, and they on full salary, and they're suspended because they're under investigation.
Suspended with pay.
With pay, full pay.
Yeah.
Most will be given the time to resign so they can keep their pensions and shit. And that's always been my big beef with it. Yes, if you've got rid of one, he should not receive his police pension.
Yeah, and the thing is about
anything he's paid into it, or her, because technically that's their money. But the money that the police federation, the police and the government put in towards it, they shouldn't get that.
Well, the thing is, right, and like I said, I mean, just briefly talking about footballers, even though I don't give a crap about them, because I think, to be honest, I think they're greedy baskets. That's just my opinion. So you've got all these different footballers that will get millions and millions of pounds for all these different contracts and stuff that are, and they're absolutely rolling in the money. But then you've got others that are middle class or lower class and that can't even afford the basics, the basic things that any human needs: food, clothes to wear, and especially if
when it gets to that point, that's when the government step in and say, we will give you what you need We will give you food, we will clothe you, we will house you, and in return, you will work what hours we tell you to, in what job we tell you to. It's called a dystopian.
No. Now you're heading down the universal wage. Now you're heading down the universal wage path, which is you just stay at home and play on the PlayStation. Don't bother going to work. We'll just pay you a minimum wage every month.
Well, this is the thing, right? Dad, many years ago, before my dad's been working for over 20 odd years, I think, and for a while, right, he was one of the most skilled. I think it was the second most skilled person. He got a lot more qualifications and stuff.
You mean there was one below me?
What?
Sorry, carry
on. He's got quite a lot of skilled qualifications, you know, that not a lot of his other colleagues have at work and stuff. And yet he's getting paid the same amount. Even now, he's getting paid the same amount than what they're getting paid, right? Even some of him and someone else that's quite a skilled worker is getting paid just above minimum wage. How terrible is that?
It's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, and the thing is as well,
when I was working at the hospital, I was doing exactly the same work as I was doing 30 years before, but I was earning 3 times the amount back then.
That's it. And that's even to today. I'd see job offers out there, and they're offering less than I was earning 10 years ago.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's like, you know, the amount of the cost of living, all these different things, food, energy prices and stuff are all going up, but yet your wages and stuff are either staying the same or they're going down, or they're only going up by a tiny bit, which is not enough. So it's like, oh, what's that? Oh, there's a certain word, a certain phrase. I don't know. One thing goes up, but you know, there's
one door opens, that closes, another one opens.
Yeah, that's right. Except in this scenario, the wages are staying the same, and we're having to pay a lot more for all these different bills, mortgages, food, energy.
Yeah, wages have got stagnant. The cost of living's gone up.
Well, I know that. Well,
if they made it worthwhile, people coming off benefits and going back to work, a lot of people would.
I have a friend that actually
go to work for 40 hours a week and come home with less at the end of it.
Well, I've got a friend that actually that unfortunately was at the time homeless, and he's had no choice but to go on universal credit, right? And they was actually Universal Credit, or DWP, was actually telling him effectively to not look for a job, and they're trying to keep him on benefits. They don't want him to get a job. They actually want him. They want him to give sick notes or something like that. To then give them a reason to say, okay, well, you're not fit to go for work, so that means that we're going to keep you on universal credit. So they
Jason, it is.
Oh, DWP want you to be on universal credit. Not DWP, universal credit. Yeah, they want you to be on it. That's what they want. The more people that can get on there, the more they can control your finances.
Universal credit will become the basic living wage.
Yeah. Well, most of the non-means tested things have been converted into means tested, i.e. universal credit, but you still got some of the other things like PIP, carers allowance and stuff that are non-means tested, but only time will tell before that becomes obsolete.
Yeah. I mean, all they'll do is, right, everybody gets paid exactly the same, whether you're on benefits or working. Those that are fit to work, you will be forced to go and work and do what they say under the threat of not getting anything.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, if they tried forcing me to go to work, bearing in mind the circumstances I'm in, not regarding me or my health,
they wouldn't take you. If they wanted to do it, mate, the circumstances don't come into it.
Yeah, well, they can get stuff for all I care. My mum is more important. My mum being cared for is more important than their scrummy opinions. and requests and whatnot. So,
And that's what they're heading at.
well, they can try. Well, if and when they get to that point, they can try. Be like, well, you know, you need to work. We can see you've been caring for this amount of time. Blah 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 blah. You still need to work. I'd be like, you can get stuffed. I'm not. How can you expect me to work if I'm caring for my mum? That's not possible. It's not physical.
If you're capable. Oh, hello. Oh,
Are you saying that?
Rev saying about a live stream tomorrow night.
Okay.
Oh God, I got lost where I was going to say then. No, you'll have different levels.
Yeah.
You know, you'll have people like yourself that are well tech savvy. Obviously, you'll get a job in tech.
Yeah.
Those that are deemed okay, yeah, they can care for a person. They will put that person in care of your mother while you go out and do the more important job.
And
the
thing is,
exactly the same.
I would not. If it was down to me, right, I would do all in my power to ensure to make sure that no one else, unless we had no choice, right, unless we had no choice, then that'd be different. But I wouldn't, based on from what I've seen, I wouldn't let anyone, or any of us wouldn't let anyone in the house to try and care for mum.
You wouldn't have the choice. They cut you off financially. They cut you off from energy. How are you going to survive? You can't get food.
Yeah.
You can't have light. You can't have heat. You can't.
Your bank
have
account's
water.
frozen.
Yeah, well, I mean,
unless you comply, you'll have none of the basics.
Yeah, I know.
And that's how they will force it.
Well, that's why. Well, that's
and it will create an underclass system. It will create an underclass system.
Well,
you will
that's
have
why
people who will drop off the net and will just be working hand to mouth, you know, cash in hand. And
well,
like
that's why a lot of people have said as well that the younger generation now, myself included, later down the line, like many years to come, will see the rapid decrease in society and all these different things that are going on all at once.
Well, think of it this way, Jack. What they're doing now is a modern version of laying siege to a castle. Only this time they're doing it to a whole population.
Yeah.
A siege, they surround the place, you're stuck in there. Once your food, water, and everything else is run out, what are you going to do?
It's like that film, if you've ever seen it, Doomsday.
Yeah.
Where it's like, here, try a piece of your friend, you know.
Yes, exactly, Steve. War of attrition.
War of attrition.
Yep. The war of attrition, exactly.
And that's what the government would force on you, backed up by the police and probably some of the military if they needed it.
Do you know what? I'll be honest, right? Someone's just put something in the comments about something towards my mum. A nice thing. Thank you for that. If it wasn't for me, I unfortunately had to make the choice. Thankfully, it didn't really affect me a whole lot. Well, it didn't. 2019, which is when I was 2018 to 2019, which is my first and final year at college. I started to notice a lot more things happening when I used to come home. Sometimes Mum would have fits and stuff like that. Now, she was diagnosed with epilepsy at the time. She was diagnosed with it in 2017. At the same time, she was diagnosed with MS. And I thought it was in my best interest, because I'd already finished college at that point. I thought, well, I'm not going for a second year, and so I thought I'm going to make it my mission to focus on caring for Mum, because Mum would not be if I didn't, right, and that no one, because obviously my brother Jacob was in school at the time, so he wasn't. You know, he wasn't 18 or anything like that, so it's not like he can stop school. Dad's always working, so really there'd no one be at home, right? So it'd either be that one of us would have to stop school, or Dad would have to stop work, which would then lead to other complications, i.e. losing the house and all other things. Or I do my due diligence and not to go college for a second year to do what I wanted to do. So have to stop or put my life on hold in effect to focus on caring for Mum. And I'm glad I did, because considering the fact that Mum's progressively conditions decreased progressively over the years, I'm glad I did stop, because otherwise, Mum would be. Mum
And
wouldn't be.
what were you doing in college?
I was doing level 2 media, and I had 2 teachers. One was to do with like comic books, so like making comic books and things like that, and the other one was to do with photography.
And have you kept that up even though you're not at college? Have you still developed that skill set while you've been at home?
Not as much, no. Mainly because I've been so focused in caring for Mom. But
Yeah.
I've still got some of the skills that I utilised from college regarding my photography. Do you know, like editing photos and stuff, and editing the different like the colours and saturation, all that stuff. I can still do all that. That's not a problem. It's just that some of the things are a bit cloudy because it's been a while since I've done it.
But everything's on YouTube nowadays. I mean, if you're a bit cloudy about anything, you just watch a 10-minute video on YouTube and you're back in business again, you know?
Yeah.
Especially with photography, you know what I mean?
Well, I do like photography though. You know, that has been one of my most focused things. It's like, you know, I don't know, it feels like, especially with like the bigger photography cameras like the Canon and Fujitsu and whatever, you know, like it.
Yeah.
I did like them because obviously you had the lovely the big lights on the top, and you could change the aperture and the different, I forgot the call them now. F something.
The ISO, your shutter speed,
That's right.
aperture.
Yeah, you can change all that, and I've seen videos on the internet where people have managed to change all that stuff. And you know, when a car goes, when they record a car going by, the wheels aren't moving; they're stationary.
Yeah, that's matching the shutter speeds. You've got a higher shutter speed, and your aperture
it's really cool how they've done that. It's really cool how they do that. Honestly, it looks like it's just floating.
Yeah.
But you know, I've had to put most of that stuff on hold. Well, like going out and doing it, if that makes sense. But I don't mind because I do all the things in my own time. Like whenever I do something called Fiverr, which is like freelancing, and I earn money for people. I offer my services to people, like whether it be to edit a photo or remove someone from a photo, because some people can. I do sometimes find it difficult sometimes to remove someone from a photo. But the thing is, you've got to play around with the tools.
You're obviously home.
You're home then, Dan?
Hey, Dan.
I just heard Jack talking about offering his services to people and playing around with tools, and I just wondered what he was talking about.
Oh, you're feeling a lot better then.
Not them type of tools.
So
glad to see you took the health advice straight on the fags.
Yeah, well, he did say to me that I really do need to give up, but you know, it's not like
before you were stood outside the fucking hospital smoking one, talking to me last night.
it's not like I drink or anything, is it?
Well, you know,
it's good to see you home anyway, mate. It's good to see you home.
Well, I'm glad to be back here.
Yeah, no, that happened, but you know, obviously most of the things that I loved to do back then I can't do now, but that's fine because I do earn money here and there by doing. I mean, freelancing is basically like being self-employed, isn't it? You're your own boss and things like that. I mean, I do get orders in now and again. I had one the other day that was they said that that what they asked for, they wasn't satisfied with it when I'd completely changed or edited what they wanted, and they still weren't happy. So I contacted customer support about it, and they looked into the order and they gave me the money. Because what happens is, do you know, if you cancel on Fiverr, if you cancel on someone, your cancellation rate, because you have like a percentage, it goes down, and it ruins your cancellation rating. So when people go and look at your gigs and stuff, they'll see, especially if it's on that type of gig that someone else ordered, they'll see that you've had a cancelled order or your rate is down, and they won't necessarily buy from you. They won't, you know, but they put it back up to 100%, and they saw that the order was satisfied. They could see all the images and stuff, what they asked for, and they got what they asked for, but they still weren't satisfied. You know what I thought? I thought that they were probably trying to get something for free, because I've seen people do that in the past, where they order something, you give them what they want, they'll say they're not satisfied with it, but because you've already uploaded the images and the source files, in this case the PSD files that they wanted.
Jack, again, the technical shit this week is going straight over people's heads, mate.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, but that
it's
happened.
It's not boring, but a lot of people just don't know about it, and you know.
We know what
No,
you mean.
no. All it was that had happened. I got the money because they tried to con me. I did get the money, and jobs are good, and nothing's been affected. You know, apart from the fact it just shows on my profile as I've got one cancelled order. Like only I can see that. But that's about it. But nothing's been affected. So.
I've never had an unsatisfied customer.
You filthy rascal!
How long have you been
filthy
home,
rascal?
man? How long have you been home?
20 minutes.
20 minutes. How many times have you looked at your computer for storage since you've been back?
No, the door's still locked at the moment. I've not been in there yet.
Sure.
It is switched on. It was switched on when I left here. I was only expecting to be in there one night.
That's all right then.
So it is switched on. But I've got to go get some milk. So I'll get some milk, make a coffee, and then I'll go and have a look.
He needs some milk.
So
Yeah, it's 10 to 5 now. I'll give it another half hour or so anyway. So
What happened to the breastfeed machine? What happened to the breastfeeding machine you've got, Dan? The one that you you extract from yourself. What happened to that?
that's not my breast milk in there.
They give you a load of medication, did they?
well, you know
Yeah,
how that's collected, don't you, Jack? With them big, yeah.
No,
That's
actually.
not what Dan uses it for.
The
The normal one isn't big enough.
They're getting excited now. You see, they're getting excited.
Oh, I know.
You know, the press calls away they go. You know what I mean?
They've upped some of my meds, Murph. They've upped some of them, and they've put me on folic acid as well for some reason.
Oh, right, for the bones.
For the baby, I think.
Or is that
I kept trying to tell them it's a food baby, not a real baby.
How many
But
babies
no.
are you expecting, by the way? You expecting 2 or triplets?
Quintuplets, I reckon. By the size of them.
He's plenty
No,
of giving birth to the Jackson 5.
They're the
Yeah.
they're big, huge farts. That's what they are. They're just waiting
No,
to come out.
as I said to Roger earlier, they still don't know what it is yet that's causing. Because basically, they call it paralysis on the paperwork, but it's not. I've got a massive lack of sensation on the left side of my face and my left arm.
Yeah.
It's only my face and my left arm. My neck went numb last night, but that's okay now. I haven't got it in my body, and I haven't got it in my left leg. It's just the arm and my face. They did check for compressed nerves in my neck to see if that was an issue. They've done an ultrasound on my neck, and they said that came back okay. So the doctor this morning said that it's probably either another stroke or the previous stroke has been trying to heal itself, and it's potentially made some wrong connections somewhere.
And tell me, when they took blood, were they putting it into half-pint bottles and selling it?
Yeah, probably are. Yeah. Well, it's pure blood. I'm pure blood, isn't I? It must be worth a fortune.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah, no, but I mean, the amount of alcohol in there. You know?
It's not that. What does everyone keep talking about it like that? I only drink once a week.
I go around, as I said, I play you on a. I never up late. I'm never up enough time to catch you live. So I play it the next morning in the car, and my little Filipino secretary goes, "Is he always drinking?"
Well, lucky for you, you only drink one day in the week. You only drink on Sunday.
Yeah, pretty much. Unless it's a special occasion. If it's a special occasion, I mean, I might have 1 or 2 glasses during the week. But other than that, I will only drink properly on one day a week.
Yeah, I've
It
had
is
that
quite-
for 20 years. Yeah, 20 years I haven't drank. So Sunday to Friday, don't want to drink it. Saturday, tomorrow now I'll have a beer and I'll relax and enjoy.
It is quite
Yeah.
hilarious though. You got people saying that what is it? That you're an alcoholic. You're an alcoholic even though you drink probably once or
Yeah.
twice a week.
Well, I know a few people that drink every fucking night, but they're okay to drink every night, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Lost Souls is kicking your ass.
No, Roger and Lost Souls Paranormal Murph have got this saying. They say I might only drink once a week, but I drink a week's worth in that
Yeah,
one
that's
day.
it. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I'm only an alcoholic on a Sunday.
but the way
Yeah,
I
and
see
you-
it,
and you're going
the
for like
way I
10
see
hours.
I'm not suffering from hemorrhaging or bleeds. So it's a clot, and therefore, in order for a clot to not clot, your blood needs to be thin. So if I drink alcohol at least once a week, then my
Yeah.
blood's thin.
Yeah.
That's my excuse anyway.
Well, I'm an army boy. Like I say, I'll have a beer tomorrow, but the thing is, I'll finish a whole case of beer in between tomorrow and Sunday.
Yeah.
I used to be like that.
Yeah.
Drink until it's
I've
gone.
always made a point of always having a hangover on work time.
That's the only way to get through it.
It's the rush.
We got-
Oh,
Yeah. But I'm lucky enough that I'm senior enough that I don't have any appointments on a Monday. I have nothing at all. I don't see anyone. I just go into my office and I work. And then
you always tell
Oh.
people, leave me alone on this day. I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah. So I don't have any meetings on a Monday. I don't have any meetings on a Friday. You can Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, no problem. But Monday and Friday, don't talk to me. You know?
Hello to the chat, by the way. I'm just looking at the comments now.
Serco got fined.
Hello,
Everyone's
Danny.
been talking very bad about you, Dan. Everyone's been saying how much you're a bad person. I'm joking,
How much of you'll call him an alcoholic? I know.
But it gives everybody something to talk about on a Sunday night, doesn't it?
It does. Well, it
Yeah.
stops them talking about other people, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, mind you, it doesn't.
Guess what?
It doesn't. It doesn't.
Hey, Dan.
Yes.
Do you remember the? Okay, I'm not going to say his name because if I do, it's like Beetlejuice. He'll appear. You say his name 3 times. Do you the K?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know.
What?
He did something recently. Well, it was I say about a month ago or so. I don't know if you know about it, but I looked up his name earlier. And do you remember when he gore bombed your channel?
Yeah.
Well, he actually went on Mark Kelly's about a month ago, and he decided to show his private parts on there. Like he actually just whipped it out.
There's something for you to look into, Dan. Breaking news at the moment. Do you remember the prison guard that got kicked to shit by a complete head case in one of the prisons? Serco have just been fined $2.25 million health and safety breaches for allowing that to happen.
Well,
What do you
good.
want?
Couldn't happen to a nicer company.
Feeding time.
Serco is shit. They're all shit. All them fucking private companies that run prisons are shit.
Yeah,
Feeding
apparently
time.
he got to attack one of the guards or something and actually kicked him to death.
I don't remember that, to be honest, but I remember
I remember
a group,
something about it, but
I remember doing a story on a group of guards kicking the fuck out of an inmate.
yeah, I remember that one. No, this was something that just come up as breaking news. That was all.
To be fair, he probably deserved it.
Oh, there was something about Putin moving fucking nukes into Belarus or something, but
It's that he doesn't trust the Belarusians, so he's moving the nukes in, but he's also moving armed units in to protect the nukes. He's not allowing them to. He's not allowing the Belarusians anywhere near them.
Doesn't Belarus put him in firing range of the UK then?
Yeah.
So that's what it is. So there you go. You've got another fear campaign going on.
yeah.
Well, it's the Cold War all over again.
He's got no reason. He's got. I know the UK are getting involved, but he's got no reason to fucking nuke us. We're nothing compared to him.
I mean,
You know what I mean?
but the Kremlin turned around today and said, if Britain supplies Ukraine with nuclear weapons, this will be all-out war. And, Britain doesn't even want to turn around and give them planes, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, never called down an alcoholic. I prefer the term pisshead or long-term drunk.
Stand home,
Or
Ryan.
as I like to put it, clear of thought.
Stand home, by the way. Now. He was in hospital before because don't know if it could be an extra stroke.
All my best insults come when I'm drunk.
Yeah, well, everyone's best ideas come when they're off their head, don't they?
Yeah,
Let's be honest.
Well, like you said many times, you just say what you say. You say what you think when you're drunk.
He does when he's sober, so it don't make a lot of difference.
Well, to be fair, when I'm sober, I try to be a little bit more careful of people's feelings, and I might go the long way round telling them they're a cunt. Whereas when I'm drunk, it just comes out. I don't waste time when I'm drunk. But yeah, I'll be honest with people. Do you know what I mean? As much as I possibly can, I always will be.
Oh, what was it? You know the live stream you did about those two lads?
Yes.
Honestly, some of the comments are brutal. The fact that they were blaming you for, they were trying to say that some of them were speaking to the police as I go by. Some of them were saying that the police, it was the police's fault for why they died. It was also the lads' fault. Fault why they died.
There was a lot of people saying that I was saying the police were to blame. I never said the police were to blame.
No,
I said that they were chasing the boys and they lied about it.
Yeah, they should.
I did
they
say
shouldn't
that
have been chasing them, in my opinion.
Yeah, I did say that I don't think the police should have chased them. Yeah, of course
it was a polarising incident, and no matter what you said, someone would take offence with it. You know what I mean?
100%.
It was one of those that there was always going to be someone up for the boys, someone up for the police, someone, there was,
It upsets me how It upsets me how people sitting behind their computer screen feel braver to word it in the way that they word it. When they come on and they start calling you a fat dickhead and all stuff like this, and it's like, well, hang on a minute. You're the one wasting your time coming on here to tell me that you don't agree with my opinion. But you're saying my channel's shit, but yet you're leaving comments which helps the algorithm push my video out to more people. So ultimately, you're helping the fucking channel. So who's the dickhead, really?
It's
fuck them. Some people do wind me up. Some people will wind me up.
Tomorrow night, Dan.
Well, I mean, I try and listen to both arguments. So sometimes I log on and I listen to all the left wing shite that goes on a Sunday morning, and I'm sort of like, and then I go, Murph, don't wind yourself up, mate. Just let
I'm happy Murph, I'm happy to listen to people if they come at me with a reasonable argument and they come at me respectfully. Like, look, I can understand where you're coming from, Dan. However, I think you're wrong because of X, Y, Z. I will respond to those all day long. But when people sitting behind their computer wearing their mummy's knickers, or sniffing their sister's knickers or whatever they're doing, and they're going and they start coming on and start being abusive, those are the ones that'll piss me off.
Yeah. There's no need for it. There's no need for it.
It's like I said, that I've reserved my opinion on the whole of it basically until I see more evidence. But it is evident that the police were chasing them, they lost them, and that's why they weren't anywhere near the crash.
Well, we still don't know. We've only got their word that they weren't anywhere near the crash, as we've spoke about, Roger. No police cars being on that road at the time could mean that they just hadn't pulled out of the side road at the time of the accident.
Well, the one thing that confused me was they said that the van didn't have the blues and twos on, was going down the road after them at the same speed that they were travelling. And then they said that the police van turned right onto such and such a road before the kids had an accident. But if you look at the timeline on the thing, there were two things that came up on that. If you look at the timeline, it was 1 minute before the accident when that got caught on camera. Secondly, if it went down that other road, why have we not seen city door or ring footage of that van going down that road? We haven't seen any. We've had
There's
about
only
4
been
or 5 different
selective
cameras,
CCTV
4 or
shown.
5 different views of them going down that main road. But they said that van turned right or turned right onto another road and went down that road. Why are there no camera shots of that van going down that road?
There's no way, Murph. There's no way if a police car and that police van was chasing them. I don't care what some people have said to me. How do you know how fast they're going? It's quite blatant that they were travelling at speed, right?
Yeah,
but it's blatant.
Absolutely.
It wasn't one of those. That wasn't a video camera that takes a picture every 1 second. The frame rate was low, but you could tell that they were travelling at speed, right?
Well, the other thing to look at as well is that a lot of these housing estates and everything else have 20-mile-an-hour speed limits.
Yes.
So that van was going a lot faster than 20 miles an hour.
Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't just trundling along. Again, as I said to Roger, he wasn't trundling along behind a vehicle. And it was a vehicle because it's a motor-powered vehicle.
Yeah,
they weren't trundling along. Got to the end of the road and thought, "Oh, let's turn left." While they've gone right, they were fucking following 100 million %. They were following them, and they were doing so at speed.
Yeah,
don't care what the police say.
Well, unfortunately, I mean, they're saying it was a mistake, but I mean, everyone else thinks they were lying through their fucking holes. There was no police car in that road at that time, is what they were saying initially.
Yeah. Well, a few people have said that they were chasing around the estate initially.
What's that?
Okay. So some witnesses from the area have actually said that the police van was chasing the bike around the estate. Initially, so there's no way that they was chasing them around, and then, if they, I mean, it could be that they're going to turn around next and say they were chasing them, but we called the chase off just before the CCTV camera picked up the image. They literally switched their lights off just as they come into view. That's why they were still travelling at speed. It's all about the wording the police use. It's the same as the government. All the laws, there's very nuanced. And you've really got to look at the words that they use and what they could be trying to evade, from. So,
if you're being followed by the police without lights on, you're just being followed, not chased, according to them.
Yeah, and if they try and pull you over, well, they can't because they haven't activated their emergency equipment.
They can pull you over at any time, Jack, even if it's only the premise of a spot check.
Yeah,
and they don't need the lights on either, by the way, Jack.
Right. Okay.
All the lights are for you to know that they're there, and they want you to stop. They could just pull up next to you without.
If he stands in front of you, he can legally stop you.
Yeah, they can pull up next. They can pull up next to you at traffic lights and ask you to pull over without activating their emergency lights. To be fair.
Right. Here's a question. If a police officer, not in plain clothes, if a police officer,
stop calling them officers. They've done nothing to deserve that title.
Sorry, police. If a police, it's
constable. It's a constable.
Whatever. Yeah, constable. If a police constable, if they're in uniform, but if you don't believe that they are a police officer, right? And you ask to see their warrant card and they refuse to do that, can you then walk away?
You can, theoretically.
But
I say theoretically because
you wouldn't get very far.
Like.
Yeah, but if you suspected that they weren't police officers, or you had a shredded doubt in your mind that said that they weren't police officers, but they wouldn't give you their warrant card, or they wouldn't show you their warrant card, right?
Yeah.
What would be what could you do then?
They're meant to get on the radio and go back to Central, and then Central will verify that they're a police officer. That's what's right.
If they refuse to identify themselves, okay, you are within your right to then walk away. Okay. Mm-hmm. However, and that's if it got to court. If it got to court, I would imagine a judge will turn around and say, "Did you show the warrant card?" A copper's going to say yes, which is why you should always film every interaction with the police. But let's just say you filmed it. Okay. If it went to court, chances are they would find in your favour because the copper did not. So if you got arrested for resisting arrest or whatever it might be because you tried to walk away and pull away from them, you could get arrested for resisting arrest. You could end up in court. if you've got video footage that shows them refusing to show their warrant card, I would suggest that they will find in your favour, whether they're in uniform or not. Okay.
Yeah.
However, the chances are you're going to get a dig and a kick for your troubles.
Right.
And
Yeah.
then there's harassment afterwards.
Bastards. Pardon my French.
What I was saying to Roger earlier on about those 15 lads from the riot the other night, they've got their premise for getting off is that the police are meant to read the Riot Act, and they didn't read them the Riot Act.
No.
Oh, the Miranda rights.
No, it's called the Riot Act.
That's
Oh,
your
right,
rights,
okay.
Jack.
Oh, right, okay.
It's called the Riot Act, and if there's a riot, they are meant to read the
okay.
Riot Act.
Now, so I thought you said Miranda. I thought you said Rights Act, not Riot Act. Sorry.
No. Riot. ROIT. Riot.
Okay. Right. That makes more sense now.
No, that's
Yeah,
not.
Riot
That's a terrible argument to use, to be honest.
You can tell the old Dan's back, eh?
Well, no, it is though. It's a terrible argument, and I'll tell you for why it's a terrible argument. Because the police only have to, apart from your, Miranda rights, as they call them in America. Apart from that, the police are only, they can get away with not telling you stuff or not advising of certain things going on in the area because they've not had a chance. So in that situation, it kicked off. The police are going to say, "Well, we didn't have an opportunity to tell people."
They're plenty.
Yeah.
All of this came from Northern Ireland, where it was all kicking off in the 70s and 80s in Northern Ireland, and they are meant to read the Riot Act.
Yeah, but they're going to say it's the same as when they're supposed to tell you when they're filming on their body-worn camera.
Oh, no,
they're supposed to tell you at the first available opportunity, but they lie and say, "Well, I was talking to you. I didn't have an opportunity." Well, yes, you did when you approached me. But even so, the police will be on the police's side, and the courts will probably find more in favour of the police.
Base Lashman had it all on video. There's video of it. Base Lashman had it all on video, and the police were standing in a line there long before the first car was torched or anything else like that.
Afternoon, Graham.
They had plenty of time to read the Riot Act.
Yeah, no, you and I agree with you. I agree with you on that. But again, I'm just trying to put it across from how they might try and
I know that.
evade from it.
Section 35 exclusion.
Well, I mean, if I was one of those police solicitors, that's one of the things I'd be going at. At any time did they read you the Riot Act? No. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Is it the section 35 or 32, the exclusion order they can put in place?
They can run an exclusion order, but they can only put that in after the event.
In place until they get handed a piece of paper.
Exclusion zones can, I believe, can be made at the time.
Yeah.
No, I might be wrong, but for example, an inspector or hire could turn around and say, "Right, we need to put an exclusion zone in place here," and then they'll radio through to, or they'll speak to somebody on their IT department that can then issue a statement or on social media saying an exclusion zone is now in place. But as soon as a inspector, I believe, as soon as the inspector makes a decision to put an exclusion zone in place, that exclusion zone is in place. They have to let people know at the earliest opportunity that there's an exclusion zone in place. So even if that took an hour before they put it up, their argument would be, well, there was disorder and we didn't have a chance to do that. That's what
they do that in. I think it was actually in Liverpool. When there was a protest up there, everybody was going up there, and when they got there, they found within an hour of them getting off the train and that, all of a sudden this exclusion order had been announced.
Yeah, I think that was the place in Kirby. I think it was to do with the hotel. I think
the mothers and the babies, the far right mothers and babies.
Yeah,
the far right activists, mothers and babies, Liverpool. Until someone pointed out that, isn't Liverpool a Labour council?
It is, yes.
We always used to call it Dublin's overflow.
So anyway, guys, I'm going to skip off because I need to get some milk. I need to have a coffee, and then I'm probably going to get some sleep. So
good to see you back in your environment. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Nice to see you, Murph.
And yourself, mate.
So I think that's gone. So let Jack know I said see you later. And Roger,
Oh,
I will catch you a
well,
bit later as well. And everybody in the chat, thank you for your concerns and your messages. Appreciate it. And if I don't see you tomorrow on a video, I'll see you on Sundays live. So take care of yourselves, and I'll speak to you later, guys.
Take care, mate. Good to see you.
Bye.
See you later, buddy.
See you later, Heather, darling. Bye.
Yeah, I'll give it another 5 minutes just to let everybody say goodbye to everybody in the chat because
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's 3 hours now.
Yeah, I mean that one the other Saturday that just run away with itself. Before I do it, we'd been on here 5 hours.
Yeah, it does happen though, doesn't it? It does happen. The other way.
But I think this basically has started me 20 hours on StreamYard again because yesterday, I think it was, I inadvertently wiped everything out of my computer trying to clean things up and basically got rid of all my passwords and shit. And
Oh, bloody hell.
So at 6 in the morning, I'm upstairs trying to get Heather out of bed to come and sort out what I'd fucked up.
Yeah.
She was not happy whatsoever.
Oh, that's what love's for, though, isn't it? That's what love's for.
And it probably wiped out because it looked like it wiped out my StreamYard. So, because I had to sign in again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was quite amusing. She was not happy.
I do it all the bloody time
make
myself.
it up to her with breakfast, but she didn't want any toast. But yeah, welcome to my world of tech.
my wife does me breakfast every weekend. Cold shoulder and tongue pie.
Well, I've only
Is Dan gone now?
Yes, mate. He said goodbye to you. Said to tell you goodbye.
Okay, no, I was just cleaning the filter from the dryer, so I couldn't hear.
When I did yesterday's video, I was trying something new. Now I'd done a mountain biking video with music in the background.
Yeah.
But I've now realised I can use the same audio setup to do a voiceover, like when I put a picture up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I presume I can do exactly the same with a video.
I noticed you did that. I noticed you did a voiceover.
I told you, mate, I try to learn something new every day.
I noticed it because the pitch of your voice changed in the when the picture showed compared to when you was actually doing the video. Like when we saw your face. So
because what I do is I do that separately, and then I edit that into what I usually have as a continuous video.
Yeah.
Because when I do that, I do it at the table, so I'm a lot closer to the microphone as well.
Yeah, you can do it. You can do it with a video as well. You just got to make sure that for that specific section.
Yeah, I just got to make sure the timeline matches up. That's all.
Well, yeah, and you've also got to make sure that the video, so when you got the video showing, you want to make sure that the audio track that you're using, which you want to dub over the original audio, you want to make sure that the original audio is either muted or it's lowered down enough so you can hear the dubs version. Yeah.
You get so many people who they'll turn around and they'll be narrating and they'll do the voiceover and then they'll put the music on and the music comes out at 10 times the volume of the narration. You know. So
well, that's what I was going to use my little sound card thing for, little sound box. But at the moment, I haven't been able to figure out how to make the bloody thing work on here. So,
well, I've got the Rodecaster Pro 2, so I can adjust the volumes.
Oh, well, mine's only a tiny little little V8 ones.
Well, I've got one of the.
It's just cheap. It's about 24 quid.
Ah, right.
It's a toy.
Yeah.
Basically, it's nothing serious.
I mean, I went too big. I went way too big. I mean, I can run 4 microphones out of it. I can take phones. It's what Paz has. It's what not Paz. Yeah, the Rev.
Yeah.
He's got it, and he plugs in phones and everything else, phone calls. You can do all of that, but I mean, I'm based in Dubai, so I don't think people want to be ringing my mobile in Dubai.
Well, I'm hoping before the end of the year I'll see Rev set up firsthand because he's invited me down for the next one they do the round table.
He's got an impressive setup there. It is an impressive setup.
Yeah, his gaming rig.
You see my setup. Mine's a bit complicated.
Yeah, but you go completely OTT. You.
All right, and Graham, take care of yourself, buddy.
Yeah, no, mine's.
We'll
I
see you
would say,
Sunday.
I'd say my setup is probably worth quite a lot of money if you think about it.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
you're gaming professionally, sort of thing, aren't you?
Yeah, it's just the thing is that I'm having the issue with at the moment. It's finding the time, and it's having the motivation to do that. It's not the fact that I don't. It's not the fact I can't do it. It's the fact that I need the time and the motivation to do it. That's the issue I'm having at the moment. That's all.
Yeah.
And especially with the weather at the moment. I mean, 27 in this room in the conservatory at the moment. And I tell you what,
Yeah,
I've been going to bed at like 9, 10 o'clock compared to what I usually do. Sometimes
Yeah.
I'll be, especially on a Sunday, I won't go to bed till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. But
All
I've been
right.
going to bed earlier and earlier since it's been getting hot. So
Yep. Well, I got a bed at what?
I'm gonna call that it, because before we do have tea, we've got to decide what we're having, and that's usually a mission in itself with us too.
Exactly. No.
well,
It's the usual good Friday
Well,
evening little chat. So
well,
Yeah.
thank you for having me on, Roger.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no problem, mate. Thank you, Murph, and thank you for Pat.
no
If he's
problem.
still listening in the background there.
Have a good one. Enjoy your tea.
I won't say good day, goodbye to you all in the chat, because there's too many of you still in there to go through you one by one. But thank you for joining us this afternoon. And as Pat said, don't forget Sunday Live, police abusing powers for a right giggle, which I think it will be this week.
And I'm not announcing a live tomorrow, but I will more than likely go live at around 11 o'clock your time.
If they let you. In fact,
You'll-
hang on a minute. Where are we?
Is it public or is it a members only on the
I
Sunday?
was just looking at that. It should be a public one, and then next week's should be a members
Members
only.
only, right? Okay. Thanks for that. I wasn't too sure.
Well, to keep my memory jogged about everything I have to do, I've got a calendar hanging on my whiteboard.
Yeah. Well, remember, in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, good night.
So take care, guys. Have a wonderful weekend. The weather's supposed to be nice. Don't forget, it's a bank holiday, so that's probably why they want it done out the hospital. They know what's going to come in the bank holiday with the pissheads. All right, then, guys. I'll say good afternoon.
Take care, all. Have a good one.
Stay safe and stay strong.
Stay safe.
I've got to find the fucking button again now.